Alright, I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna go get some water. Alright, we're back. We are back. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. One second, guys. How have you guys been? Only actual versus debates who uses. What's up, guys? How's everybody feeling today? How's everybody doing today? Ah, sorry about that. Sorry about getting on so late. I had stuff to take care of this morning and afternoon. Sorry to hear you're sick, Prednard. Just saw a video of Toji and Maki versus Beerus. That's got to be fun to watch. Did they win? Did they do well? Did Toji and Maki supersede against not supersede? Well, I guess supersede could be used in a different context. Did they go out well? Did they land a hit? How did they do? It was a matchup video on TikTok. Ah, yes. Uh, you know, I've never actually checked out like TikTok versus battle discussions. I've never checked them out. How's everybody doing? How was the weekend for everyone? Good day, mate. It's been a while. It has been a while. What's up, Eternal? It's been a hot minute, man. We are don't check out TikTok versus battle videos and stuff and what have you. Hey, what's up, brown pants? ¿Cómo estás? Don't these people don't these people I've seen genuine Maki hate for killing a clan of misogynists and that Itachi did it better. Itachi didn't do it better in my opinion, only because when we see Itachi do it, it's mostly like off-screen type of shit. And to be honest, like he needed help. Maki kind of soloed through most of it. Your weekend was pretty good. Although the Itachi shit was pretty raw though, because he also was just killing innocent children. Like I don't know. I haven't seen the anime episodes yet. I don't remember Maki killing any kids. So it depends on how raw you want it to be. Because there are things about like the Itachi one that are also like straight up. There are also certain things about the Itachi one that were like straight up fucked. Like actually, like innocent people out there just living their lives. It was crazy. Missing Karibi for the Karibo deck. Oh, that's unfortunate. TikTok versus battle discussions are either rage bait or brain rot, no in between. Don't watch TikTok debates, trust me. I kind of want to now. I kind of want to see how bad it is. Why are we comparing these as they are just different narrative wise? I mean, they could be different narrative wise, but it's still fun to talk about like a clan's. You know what? I probably shouldn't say it's fun to talk about a clan's massacre. In fiction specifically. What does did it better mean? That it was more justified? I guess you could see it that way. Yeah. It was confirmed that Obito killed the women and children. Ah, Obito just didn't give a fuck. Itachi went after all the men then. Fair enough. If you think the dumb stuff you saw on YouTube was bad, then oh boy, you can't even imagine. Maki's massacre was boring to you, to be honest? That's fine. I think that's fair. It really does depend. I had a friend today, actually, I don't know if a lot of you guys would be able to know like the exact reference I'm making, but I had a friend today bring up the kid with eye powers holding down Maki died. There was a kid with eye powers that was holding down Maki. Isn't that like stupid? Cause your jujutsu abilities work less on heavenly restriction users. Ranta. Alright. So, I had a pretty long weekend. Spent it mostly with my girlfriend. She and I hung out for the most part. No fucking way the sandal bent this way. I should have probably paid a bit more attention to these. Yeah, that was probably a bad thing. Whatever. We'll move these here. I spent the entire weekend cleaning. Had to pile up a fuck ton of snow. It was definitely one of those things. Estoy haciendo ejercicio ahora mismo, escuchando a tu transmisión, es muy lindo. You guys like my white person impersonation of my impersonation of a white person reading Spanish? Guys, when he says GF, he means the SSR pull he got from Action Taimanin. What the fuck is Action Taimanin? Action Taimanin. Speak English, please. I can't go 4 more languages down. That's fine. If I remember correctly, Obito only offered to kill the women and children, but it's a bit unclear if he accepted. I don't know for sure since I didn't read the novel. Fair enough. So, I had a pretty long day. Weekend was pretty... Well, not even a really long day. I had to go help out a family member with their errands and stuff. Now we're here. Now we're back on the bullshit. We're back on the same bullshit we've been on. We're back on the grind. I'm going back down the mines. Yeah, we just gotta get through it. I actually did some math. I can get this done, not including today, obviously, because I wouldn't have the full 6 hours to work on this. But technically, 16 more sessions, 16 more full sessions for us, and we're done. We are fully done, and then I can just work on the next 2 weeks for the Naruto vs. Luffy video. So hopefully, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we finish up reading through One Piece, and then we'll get through this. We don't have an age confirmation for most of the Zenin, but the kid didn't seem older than Yuji or Megumi. Then she probably killed a child. Well, okay. Can't believe Naoya, a loser misogynist, actually has fans now that the anime is out. Yeah, Naoya, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of people out on the internet who also enjoy loser misogynists, so it's not necessarily, like, that out of whack. Like, if people out there can get, you know, famous and have certain level of notoriety because they are losers and misogynists, I'm pretty sure adding a loser and a loser/misogynist to your series, especially if they get their teeth broken in. To be fair, that kid was attacking her. That's what I'm saying. The kid was attacking her. But anyway, if you have a loser/misogynist in a series and you make him look like a badass, they'll have some level of fans. Of course, it's also even more satisfying then when you have them get their fucking teeth broken in. But that was nothing. Toji versus Hakari, who wins? I'm putting my money on Toji. Do you think Hakari is stronger or weaker than Maki? I think that should be the question you have to ask yourself. Do you think he can take on Maki in a fight? Because if he can take on Maki, he can take on Toji. It's basically narratively implied that they are exactly equals. Toji ain't no bum. That's crazy. Alright. I bought some candy earlier. I'm going to have some later. Maybe as a snack. Do you think you need the Naruto manga raws? I don't think I did. I don't think I do. I mean, I appreciate anything like that. If you can always make up an extra folder in the thing, but I don't think I personally need them. I don't know if I'm really gonna be going into like the raws of them just to like try and like talk about some extra potential light speed stuff if you want to go into the raws of it. But like, if the official translations don't go with that crap, I don't really care. I actually found a good My scale that gets here faster than half of the disaster curses. Really? Fair enough. How do the latest chapters affect Luke Sukuna's lightspeed scaling? They don't really affect it at all. There's no direct comparison between... Unless there's an actual statement that implies Dabura is equally as powerful as Sukuna or as fast as powerful as Gojo, it doesn't matter. There's no, like, direct link between them besides Maharaga. The only bridge within the entire context of the story that actually bridges Sukuna or Gojo to any of the modern day characters is Maharaga, and Sukuna one-shotted Maharaga very early into their fight with only 15 fingers. Meanwhile, Dabura hasn't been able to do the same, and Gojo essentially took on Mahoraga, Sukuna, and Agito all at the same time. It really doesn't affect anything. It really doesn't. The Raws don't call Naruto Lightspeed, I can grant that, but I can post some of the Donsai Raws since... I would actually just appreciate the Donsai or Don Chinjiao Raws. Only those two, specifically because that way I can show the direct translation to the term continent. I think I have one of those from like an old screenshot I took of one of Steinixo's videos because I can never find the scan myself. I would actually just help to have the Raws there, but it would also help to have like the term shatter instead of split. Not because of that, but because of the effect of light speed movement has on the environment. Yeah, but he's also, like, Dabura is also, like, moving a larger distance, and Sukuna simply, like, dodging an EM wave at close range. May statement than Mai's bullet, which was going to have the most of her CE, couldn't have been dodged by Magi, who can react to Hanami and Dagon. Yeah, that could probably work. But it's also, like, the bullet itself and not necessarily Mai. You know what I mean? She had a ton of time to train before Shinjuku and just blatantly has better feats. That is also true. Is Mahoraga buffed by a binding vow? That's why I think he could... No, he's not buffed at all by a binding vow. The only binding vow that Sukuna had for Mahoraga during the Shinjuku Showdown was specifically the one where he would bear the burden of adaptation so that Mahoraga didn't have to come out immediately. He was essentially Sukuna went through the burden of adaptation for Gojo's domain expansion, so when Mahoraga first pops out, it's already been through it. Hope you're doing good, man. Can you explain to me which you please thinks Naruto can beat Luffy? I'm doing good, Emperor, first of all. I don't understand what you're really asking me here. Can you please explain to me which please thinks Naruto can beat Luffy? I don't know exactly what you're trying to say by that. Can you give me like a bit more of can you give me a bit more like a clarification, please? Would you use an anime scene if it upscales a character if the upscale gets a lot higher than the manga, like Rezi's explosions in the anime being a lot bigger? I think it's fine. Like, you can use anime adaptations for stuff like that, especially if you feel like it's close enough to where the manga. I think that anime adaptations are especially good for things like figuring out if a scene or an action of a character that probably wasn't that easy to tell in the anime is a lot better simplified. For example, Sukuna dodging the Kashimo EM wave. People like to say he aim dodged it, as in he dodged before, even though the page doesn't show it. So whenever the anime were to come out, if it were to show that, it might change my opinions on the scaling, because at that point you can probably get a better idea, a closer idea as to what the author had intended for such a scene. You know what I mean? Like, I think stuff like that, for like clarifications, the anime adaptation's fine. I can also feel like the anime adaptation, as long as it doesn't become too egregious or adds too much context that like changes the entire output of a scale, I think it's completely fine up until those points. Now, if you have a situation, for example, like with Dragon Ball Z, I use Dragon Ball Z as an example because Dragon Ball Z is a series where, depending on whether you use the manga or the anime, even how powerful Kid Buu is could be different. For example, in the anime adaptation of Dragon Ball, Kid Buu is de facto the most powerful Buu. There is no interpretation. No, they straight up say Kid Buu is the most powerful Buu. It's not Super Buu Gohan absorbed. It's not Super Buu Goten absorbed. It's straight up Kid Buu. But in the manga, Kid Buu is actually weaker than Super Buu because there's no statement that even remotely implies it. As a matter of fact, there's probably there's actually a closer implication that Super Buu Gohan absorbed is more powerful. I also use this example for One Piece in the sense that if you were to use the Fishman pill meta, you cannot use it for the manga adaptation. You have to entirely judge it off of the anime adaptation. I think that the Fishman pill meta specifically only works if you're going anime adaptation only. You cannot make the argument for that for the manga, specifically because the manga never shows the amount of pills eaten, but the anime does, so you completely changes up the scale. They're probably all gonna jump Moo at the end. Probably. I was trying to ask if you could explain why anybody thinks Naruto can beat Luffy. Okay. Well, we've talked about this before, and you can probably find it in any of my other streams, but since you're right here, and it's been a while since I've seen you, I can go through with it. It mostly just has to do with the lack of information, right? It mostly just has to do with two things: lack of information and also bias. So, at the end of the day, every single person here is biased to some degree, including myself. None of us are 100% ineffable, nor are we 100% unbiased in anything. Things everything that you have, whether it's a favorite series, a favorite conversation, a favorite genre of not series, a favorite genre of fiction, whether it's a favorite genre of fiction, whether it's a preference in color, whether it's anything at all, everyone here has some level of bias, me included. Now, the reason why people genuinely believe that Naruto curb stomps Luffy is mostly because of, you could say bias, and you could say because of a lack of information, because a lot of people didn't really scale for or debate for One Piece back in the day when power scaling was becoming very popularized. I saw it myself. You could definitely find it also like in like YouTube searches and stuff like that. Like, the level of in-depth analysis that like a series like the Naruto had, even if I think that like the level of in-depth analysis that existed back then isn't exactly what it is today. After all, scaling is an ever-changing meta that does grow with its user base. It was always at a point where like you could quantify things for Naruto, especially when back in the day, you know, people used to use quantitative scales like pixel measurements or actual real-world physics calcs, which, again, I think are all fine if you want to scale, per se. I just don't very much care for them. But in general, people... the one thing that Naruto kind of has consistently had over One Piece is explosive scale. What do I mean by that? One Piece as a series is mostly focus on the concept of attack potency over destructive capacity. Yes, there are characters who have very impressive destructive capacity feats like Don Chinzhou and Don Sai, Luffy, Doflamingo, so on and so forth, but that's something that occurs mostly towards like the latter end, not the latter end of the series, but more so towards like the mid-end to like later ends of the series. Yes, even in some places like Alabasta, there are giant explosions, but we don't ever get to see like the full scope of Alubarna. Meanwhile, with Naruto, you have, for example, like, this explosion trying to blow up the center of Alubarna. It's very big, very impressive, but it doesn't blow up anything per se. We don't know what the actual scale of what this explosion could have caused, other than hearing that, like, well, the city would have been wiped out, right? Which, honestly, reasonable, right? I think it's fine. But then you have situations like with Naruto where, even though you have a feat this expansive, let's say, at the early portions of the story, you also don't have... You kind of only really see, like, let's say, like, the early portions right here, where, like, you only see a couple of buildings, a couple of towers, that's up, but, like, you're not really thinking about it too much. It's like, oh, it would have blown up the city, right? Okay, sure. Early into Naruto, you have, though, or even, I guess you could say, like, mid to late game into Naruto, especially since Naruto is a series that is just much smaller than One Piece. You have situations right here where you have these massive explosions that don't just cover, like, let's say, what looks like the center of a city, but also cover multiple mountains where you can see massive backgrounds. Kishimoto does a fantastic job at giving this kind of level of scale to some of his feats. Which obviously, by comparison, I mean, which one would you say it's the bigger explosion? This one over a city where you just see a couple of panels right here of, like, wind blowing on the side, maybe like a tower blowing off, or this one right here where you see a massive explosion that's covering, like, that's like dwarfing multiple mountains, right? If it turns out that Dabura's light is slower than natural light, the EM wave meta still be a viable... Yeah, if you can argue that Dabura's light is slower than regular light, then, like, it still keeps the EM waves meta viable, but even if it were still the speed of light, it doesn't make it unviable at all. All because, again, Sukuna still moved at Sukuna would still have to move at relatively close to the speed of light, but he's also not traveling a longer distance like Dabura is. He's basically just traveling, like, what is it? I'd say, like, what, a meter or two to the side? I don't think it's anything crazy. It was gonna... Well, is there a statement that says... is there a statement that specifically says Alubarna is 3 miles in diameter? Is there a statement for that? I'm gonna read through it, like, at some point during the next, like, couple of weeks, so it's fine either way. If you... Naruto was spamming explosions around, giving away candy on Halloween, while One Piece, we just exited the time skip and we were slowly building up the stakes again. But it's not just slowly building up the stakes again, right? Let's go back here to what I was talking about before. Let's go back over here where I was talking about before with the concept of, like, One Piece focuses more on the concept of attack potency. One moment, please. Oh, that's very far back. Ugh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was just drinking some water. Okay. Somewhere around here. Let's see. Okay, no, not those. Would be earlier into the fight. No, so then it would have to be later into the fight. Where is Mr. 2? Where the fuck is Mr. 2, actually? Oh. It was later down the thing. Okay. This is what I meant when I said that, like, One Piece is more so versed in attack potency. In most cases in Naruto, you don't really see examples like this where, like, they're manipulating, like, let's say their attack potency, at least to the extent where it's only destroying a small area of effect. In Naruto, larger explosions are usually more common, which is honestly the reason why I think that, like, it's very common for people to believe that, you know, the characters are way stronger. I mean, you can do an example of, like, a comparison of, like, let's say a random guy... one of the random cat motherfuckers from, like, the early portions of the story, let's say, breaking down, an entire cliff because he was hypnotized. Because he was hypnotized into believing that he was now, like, a superhuman. So then it creates kind of, like, this weird scenario where it's like, okay, let me be honest with you. Who do you think would be more impressive, like, in a regard, right? A large cat guy that, like, let's see, he's portly, he's big, yada, yada, yada. He's got a bit of muscle mass. He's got, like, he's got, like, a 6-pack. It might even be an 8-pack, but, like, he's also wearing a cape, a big cow, a little cow bell, and, is wearing, like, this weird outfit. Like, nobody here is gonna think this guy is cool. Nobody here is gonna think this guy is interesting, right? It's also about, like, the character design. I mean, I'd be sitting here and lying to you guys if I said that I didn't think Tsunade had a better design than this guy. And when you see, like, for example, Tsunade smashing a brick wall, like, you're gonna forget, a guy like this, you're gonna forget early on, especially since he doesn't really show up again in One Piece. But Tsunade, you're gonna remember her because she's supposed to be, like, the next Hokage. That's what we're here for. A whole arc catered to her, and she's creating these giant, like, these structural damage by just slamming her hand into the fucking side of a wall. But then this guy right here, I mean, where the fuck is the feet? Oh, but this guy right here, I mean, he's creating a giant shockwave that's actually destroying the side of a cliff just from him slamming his foot on the ground, right? And that's just from the shockwave of him doing it. Now, would I say that his feat is more impressive than, like, Tsunade slamming a wall? Sure. But at the end of the day, I would also say, hey, Tsunade, she's the cooler character, better design, bigger tits. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I like her? There's a lot of reasons that people might like it more than one another. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of the times it just comes down to whether or not you like the character design, certain characters' designs, the characters' personalities, etc., etc. Even the author's writing. There's plenty of reasons why people would believe it. I believe they say it 3 times. It's either miles or 5. It's fine. We'll get to it eventually. 5 kilometers, so around 3 to 5. 3 miles, burger and fries units. That's funny. Akatsuki versus Baroque Works when? I could make that at some point. You have to give me time. I could probably do a whole stream around that. Well, JJK follows real world to extent the author knows the details, but I now think for sure wants the real thing in a series. Okay. But wouldn't that mean that all CE elements can be slower than their counterparts, therefore Kashima's weights aren't light speed? Not necessarily. You can have one CE that probably doesn't follow real-world physics and logic, per se. I mean, Gege did the whole thing with Maki, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that all of them are in lower scale unless it's specifically stated. That's fair. Also, if you stream past 10 p.m. London, England time, I'll be sleeping, which is why I'm not always active. That's fair. That's reasonable. Objectively does not make the real world to a T, because Dabra can't move at light speed because Gojo can. Okay. I would say that the M-waves are real ones, but Sukuna dodging them is not light speed, for at least now. Hey, what's up, Bob? It's been a minute. How you been, man? Uro has just as much aura, low-key. He does have as much aura, but again, that's just a matter of perception at the end of the day. Not everyone's going to feel that way. Which is why it's not so much to say that, like, he doesn't. It's more so to say that, like, this is probably a reason why I think that, like, people would fall under the assumption that, like, yeah, Naruto characters win. I mean, when you have larger explosions, motherfucker's built like a cheeseburger and somehow still had abs. That's what I'm saying. I put Debra at Kashimo. Stronger doesn't necessarily mean faster. Dabra, with all that damage, did not kill Mahoraga, and Sukuna said Fuga, and it's done. Yeah. What proves he's faster in speed and JJK usually correlates somewhat with strength anyway. All of this is just Sukuna upscale. That's what I'm saying. Okay, enough with the bullshit. Enough with the side stuff. Let's get back to work. I do need to get through this next portion of scaling. This could actually help me get through at least quite a bit of it. Who should I invest my stocks on in the Elbaf arc? I would probably invest some in Usopp. Giving you guys like a bit of a stocks, I would probably say Usopp, Robin, and probably Brook. I would say leading up to, excuse me, leading up to like the second half of Elbaf, I would say it would probably behoove some of you to start investing stock in Usopp. Low-key, definitely. 100% Brook stock, especially if his ability to affect the soul can remove Gunko from Imu's control. Probably Frankie. I'm gonna say invest some stock in Frankie because he is currently at the helm, or I guess I should say he's essentially right now at the helm, but more so he's at essentially the birthplace of Atomwood, which is what the Thousand Sunnies built out of. And he's also the only person that knows Pluton. Is it Pluton? It's Pluton, right? Pluton is the one in whichever one of the ancient weapons Frankie has access to, he essentially has knowledge on them. I would say, yeah, Usopp, Frankie, Robin, and Brook. Usopp's definitely getting Ragnir. The only reason for me to believe that Usopp isn't getting Ragnir is if Oda himself just never gives him. Like, until the very last chapter of One Piece, I will believe that Usopp is getting Ragnir at some point, or is at least wielding him. I think Sanji stocks can definitely go up. Though I will say, hopefully Sanji stocks do go up to make up for the shit that happened back in Egghead for some people. I know that some people were upsetty spaghetti about Sanji's design, especially around or at least like his actions, at least towards the start to midway point of Egghead. I do think that Sanji, did his thing. He was useful, but for now, let's just hope that Sanji at the very least also gets some stock. But my biggest three picks for now are Usopp, Robin, and Brook. You can also throw Frankie and Sanji in there as like alternate stock options if you guys would like any. I really love the concept of the real world light speed, so JJK, which I see is the best fighting system, having real world logic is amazing to me. I love that for you, man. I love that for you. Bro, I was investing my stocks on the Holding Lights, and look what the fuck happened to Summers and Garland. Summers! I mean, they got Broken Devil Fruit and Immortality. Do they really need to have, like, anything else that's crazy? You just have to, like, compare them to other characters of, like, a similar tier, and I think they'll be fine. But this chapter not downscale like Sukuna. They established that JJK follows relativity to a degree and that impacts mass and perception early. I can't see Sukuna to be that much faster. I don't really give a fuck. I don't really give a shit. As long as Sukuna's still the king, that's all I give a fuck about. I have zero stock in the Straw Hats besides Frankie, Nami, and Usopp. Garling is so ass, that's also fair. That's also fair. No one has stocks in Jinbei. Yeah, those filthy fucking fishmen. Damn. Summers is like Jogo of One Piece. He's not like the Jogo of One Piece. He didn't just randomly fight two of the most powerful motherfuckers in the whole series. Listen, I have yet to see a person in One Piece fight two of the strongest characters, and the two strongest characters in the series only to be like actively curb stomped. I haven't seen that yet. Fuck Jinbei, bro. Who even likes that bum? Alright, you might be hating on Jinbei a little bit too much. Killing him, is the only one I have stocks in because his Devil Fruit is insane. He does have a pretty crazy Devil Fruit. Nami has had crazy feats so far with Thunder Shark and Zapping Road, yeah. Garling is ass, but he has aura. Look at the panel where he's in, and he just posted up for no reason. That is true. That is true. He basically just pulled up with the, let me see if I can find what were those chapters? What were those chapters? There were some chapters about, like, Luffy, Ace, and Sabo in the past. Let's see. Let me find those real quick. Let me actually find something for you guys real quick. Let me see. We gotta go to no color, though. We have to go to no color. One Piece, no color, and then we'll go to Garp carrying Luffy. I'm just saying. Let's just pull up the fit real quick. I'm just saying. Guys, I'm going to show you something. I need to get your guys' honest opinions on this. It's around, what was it, like 129, 128? No, it has to be farther back than this. Settling the score. Okay. Yo, all I'm saying is Garling's fit and Garp's fit are kinda... The fits are kinda crazy. Garp might actually be a sellout. Garp might actually be a fucking sellout, boys. Who the fuck else wears a full black suit with a white collar shirt other than the Gorosei? Who in the whole fucking series has done that? That's crazy to me. I'm just saying, Garp might be the pseudo Gorosei. That's why he might be so strong. That's why he might be so powerful. They both got the dad bod too. That's what I'm saying. Garp, the oppression fit. Only motherfuckers that dress like that are part of the oppression squad. You actually believe Oda though? Fun fact, following the trend of making AI videos of Megumi losing to 7th graders, a guy put a Sora watermark on every fight where he doesn't look like a bum. The finger... That's crazy. The oppression group impact is crazy. The oppression fit is crazy. Garp a sellout for the fit, and I respect it. I mean, it is a hard fit, I'm not gonna lie. The fit kind of does go hard, and then Garling just sitting there in front of all the other elders like, yeah, this is my chair now? You keep standing there is crazy to me. But anyway. Alright. Enough of the bullshit. Enough of the crap. I came here for one thing and one thing only, and it was not to entertain you people. It was to do some work today. Assessment. Oh my god, can we just mention how magnificent Big Raga looks in Medulo? Yeah, Yuji's the man in the manga, I swear. Yeah, I can't wait to see Yuji do something. I specifically think my scaling will change depending on what Yuji says about Dabura in comparison, or in comparison to, like, let's say, like, the Maharaga fight. Zoro is always depicted to be slightly stronger than Sanji. Hey, let's say Oda tells us Kizaru is top of the verse, no one else is Lightspeed. Does that mean everyone is legitimately infinite durability, or whatever Lightspeed entails? I mean, it might... not really. It actually downscaled the entire set of the series. All of, like, the scaling for the series would massively go down because none of the characters are Lightspeed. It would, actually. It wouldn't, like, mean that everyone has infinite durability. It would just mean that some characters are just straight up weaker. 7 grades, as in the inverse rankings, literal 7th grade students. Yeah, not literal 7th grade students. My bad, I don't know. Sometimes punctuation is missing here with some of my fucking chatters. I can't expect to... Back to work, Ian, you got bills to pay? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, actually. Fuck. I'm here to spread the agenda that Shamrock is the strongest in One Piece, except for Mihawk. Listen, does he have a black blade? Does he have a back blade? No? Can't be stronger than Mihawk, then. Oh, yeah, she never sent me these. Streaming. Garp really fell off after Roger had a child with a random woman instead of him. Garp must have been in fucking shambles when he found out Roger had a kid, bruh. He was like, really? It was supposed to be you and me to the very end. Damn. To be fair, Kizaru's entire existence breaks scaling in physics. Uni-level kicks are stupid. Yeah, they are. They really are. Ah, man. Alright. This was everything in Little Garden. Yeah, this was everything in Little Garden. Alright, up next is Drum Kingdom. Let's see if we can get through Drum Kingdom today. Hopefully, we get through Drum Kingdom today. You're fucking lying, dude. Garp X Roger Doomed Yaoi. It's kind of nuts, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about any yaoi shit, but sure. I'm still at Egghead. Please no narrative nor plot. Please just state hacks, powers, and scaling. Yeah, that's fair. Guys, some people here aren't fully caught up, so let's try not to put too much narrative stuff outside for them. Let's be respectful. I'm gonna have some candy. Why not? Like, we for sure have characters that can deal with light speed with ease. That's not for debate. Always gets less speed, but infinitely more durability. Dabra's missing versatility and explosive options. He's probably going to accidentally make a binding vow. Oh. He's going to accidentally binding vow a win at the next set this rate? Probably. Light beams are EM waves. Yeah. I don't believe that. Actually, I do. Maybe. I don't know. Alright. Anybody love gummy candy? I love gummy candy. Are Naruto fans aware of what they do and make us believe Kizaru is real light speed? Naruto fans can't believe that Kizaru is real light speed? Because by that logic, they would also have to agree that Naruto and the other characters have to be just real light speed. You think all of the Shinobi Alliance can outdrink Kaido? The Shinobi Alliance has like, what, 10,000 people? I would probably say they can outdrink Kaido. Probably. I think that, like, let's say it takes like 3 barrels to get. That's 5 minutes. Let's just say it takes like 3 full barrels to get like of booze to get Kaido nice and drunk. If it takes like 3 to 5 barrels of liquor, right? 3 to 5, let's say what, like 6 foot tall barrels of liquor to get Kaido nice and drunk. Do you genuinely believe from the bottom of your heart that 6 barrels would get 10,000 people drunk? I don't think so. Gummy worms go hard. I'm more of a sour candy guy myself. Me personally, I'm more of a sour gummy guy. Like Nerd sour gummies. There's fuck, which one? Which Jolly Ranchers has some really good gummies, dude. Gummy candy is nasty. Swedish Fish is the only type. You only like Swedish Fish? There is no way you only like Swedish Fish. Those are like some of the worst ones. Dude, you gotta try Jolly Rancher sour. You gotta try Jolly Rancher gummies. You gotta up your candy game, man. They're goated. You know, okay, here's the thing. They're not bad, but they're just straight up sugary sweet, and I like a bit of like a change in my flavor. Sour Patch Kids aren't bad, but like you eat too many Sour Patch Kids. So I can't say Gunko kills Dumbledore. Do not tell people that Gunko kills Dumbledore or that Dumbledore even comes back. Come on, man. Sour Patch watermelons are probably the best, to be honest. Those are very good. The issue is you can't have more than like 10 or 15 before like your stomach starts to hurt. At least me. I can't have like more than 10 or 15 of them shits at one time beforehand. My mom one time, when I was like in college, she bought like a whole bag of them. Like a whole massive fucking bag of those things. For like weeks, my stomach was killing me, bruh. Because I was just having them every day. I guess Sour Patch Kids count too. They're not bad. I like the Unreal candies. I try to eat as much organic food as possible. That's a very healthy option. Honestly, that is a very healthy option for you to go through. I usually get like the store brand stuff only because like trying to get candy mailed into you, since I don't know if I have like a lot of like places near me that have like off-brand gummy stuff. I mean, more natural flavors are definitely better for you. I would honestly argue that as well. But like, I don't know, man. It's also more expensive stuff. It's all just extra expensive. And at some point, you know, especially on a budget, you really can't go. As far as school taught me, all radiation are EM waves, including light. That is true. Airhead bites are good though. Airhead bites are not bad. I do like the Airhead candy, like the taffy ones. Dude, taffy candy is fucking fire. Where the fuck were we? Oh, right here. Downloads. Wait, no, not downloads. Oh, I gotta erase these. Let me erase these, because this is just a fuck ton of megabytes I don't need to have. I'll leave those. And then delete. Yeah. Did you guys? Oh, by the way, so I was I was on the internets this week. Actually, usually when I'm with my girlfriend, I'm not really on the internet like a lot, or at least usually as far as I am. Uh, I was looking at like all the new drama stuff over YouTube. Did you guys hear about a guy named Lakari? Did you guys hear about like that whole situation with him? This shit was that was absolutely fucking crazy, dude. What's your favorite sour flavor? How much snow did you get? I got almost 2 feet of snow. I got about 2 feet. Coffee flavored Swedish fish are good. I've never had those. Never once had those. Are they? I might be able to give them a try, but okay. So there's a YouTuber named not YouTuber. There was a Twitch streamer named Lakari. He essentially did League of Legends and a couple of other games. I think he got into I think he got in with like the OTK crew. He wasn't like an official member, but he was like part of the OTK crew. Essentially, his whole thing was that like he was streaming he was streaming like some League of Legends and stuff, like a usual everyday stream, when he opened up his notepad, and apparently Windows got like a new thing where if you open up a notepad, it'll open up the last thing that you had open, and apparently within his notepad, Lakari had, I can't remember what the fuck I'm supposed to look up. Oh, right here. Drum Kingdom. There we go. Apparently Lakari apparently one of his notepads, one of the last things that opened up was the PC guy. Yeah, the CP guy. It was a link to a file folder titled Files. It was like Files or Folder, Teen Couples or Couples Teen, something like that. And then there was another tab opened up on the side right next to it titled JBT 500 gigabytes or some shit. Yeah. That shit was crazy. About why are we talking about the Diddy disciple? I don't know. I just thought I like internet drama every now and then, and I don't know, man. I was just like, yo, this shit is crazy. How do you put yourself on blast that hard? But I think the part that like kind of like caught me off guard the most was like just there was a moment where if you're looking at his reaction, the entire thing, like you can 100% tell like the guy just knows he straight up fucked up for an instant. What do you think about the most recent Dragon Ball announcements? Wait 1 second, because I'm getting something. Okay. What if JJK and One Piece swapped power systems? Who'd be more OP or weaker? Well, I think it's not really so much about the power system, so to really just go over these real quick. It's not so much about the power systems, it's more so about how high the scaling is going to go. You can give hockey, devil fruits, and all that stuff to JJK and still have the characters be like city to mountain level. Maybe country level at like best if you really wanted to like wank the verse. You can't do the same for One Piece where like if you switch... Like here's the thing, if you give One Piece characters JJK's power system, domain expansions might unironically scale to creation depending on how... depending on how Oda chooses to write it, it might actually scale up. But in general, it's not really ever about the power systems. It's usually about just how high the series chooses to scale. They would probably still scale about the same regardless. I got about 2 feet worth of snow. It was a bitch to try and like mop up most of it, to try and like pile away most of it. Luckily, our property doesn't have like a lot of space in it of itself. And one of my neighbors was nice enough to like do my front sidewalk. I did have to get them back though with some salt, but it was nice. What's my favorite sour flavor? I like green apple. I like grape. I like watermelon. I like cherry if it's Jolly Rancher, because cherry candy can be a hit or miss. I used to be a really big fan of blueberry candy as a kid. I'm not as big of a fan of it now. You can get organic food at the same price as food. It isn't really expensive. Okay. Okay, so the Dragon Ball announcements. I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a conversation about this with my friend. We had a back and forth about this for a bit. It was really just, how do they incorporate Daima into the new Super stuff? And my thing was just, I kind of went to a whole rant about it with my boy. I was basically telling him, like, listen, I don't care about new Dragon Ball shit. Dragon Ball fans are some of the most, Dragon Ball fans to me are, especially like the older generation ones, like my generation up higher, are some of the most like, I will take the slop over and over again 10,000 times no matter what. I was telling him that like the thing that pisses me more so about like the Dragon Ball fandom in general is just that like they could literally make an entire remake of all of Super, and Dragon Ball fans will eat that shit up like it's the greatest thing fucking ever. It's like, bro, for how many years have motherfuckers been fed the same Namek Saga, Saiyan Saga, Android Saga, Boo Saga bullshit for years until we started to get Super? That's why I like Super so much, because it was a continuation of the story and not just the same 3 or 4 fuck ass arcs over and over again with the same 3 or fuck ass moments. Yeah. Goku and Vegeta clashing Gallic Gun and Kamehameha. Goku going Super Saiyan. I don't give a fuck about those moments being iconic. Just give me something new. I can't see Goku go Super Saiyan for the 15th fucking remade version with new fucking extra frames. Like, I don't give a shit. So when they announced the thing, I was like, bro, give me the Moro arc. It's been 8 fucking years. There's no reason for us to not get the fucking Moro arc at this point. Because it's like, what the fuck is the excuse at this point, right? If we get a Super remake, I'm fucking boycotting it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it looks better. I don't care. I wouldn't give a shit if it looks better. I wouldn't give a shit if it added whole new transfer. I don't give a shit. Just stop giving me I don't want to see the same shit again with Super that they do with Z all the time, man. You don't need to rehash the same bullshit over and over again. Rehash the same fucking enemies over and over again. Make a brand new game where you just see Frieza, Cell, and Boo as the main. Like, I don't want to see that shit again, right? Like, all that shit to me is cringe, corny. It's like they couldn't just think up of anything else, especially for a series like Dragon Ball that is still technically ongoing. Like, if I didn't see until we got the fucking announcements where like they were gonna remake Super, but they were gonna try to like sell it in more with like Daima, and they're also gonna like add in the Moro arc. At that point, I was fine with it. That is the only thing that could have remotely have made me even an iota of happy. Because for the most part, it's like, what can you really expect? We've been getting years and years and years and years of getting cucked with Dragon Ball just to finally get an arc that is actually might be worth a damn. I don't care if they go for more of the manga adaptation. I don't care if they revamp Super, if they make a Super remake where now it's Super, but all the good sides, take away all the bullshit and probably add some decent animations. That's all fine by me. As long as we get new content consistently, that is the only thing I care about. That is the only thing I even remotely care about with Dragon Ball. So, it's fine. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero getting a brand new update as well. I think it's fine. New DLC characters is great. If this becomes like the ipso facto casual Dragon Ball game, I think that's fine. It has a ton of content, so I'm happy. So I'm happy about that stuff. It's sad even more so. He ain't the only one as of now, but hey, we might get used to it and seeing more and more said about. Okay. As far as Usopp making it in a fighting Naruto, I'm thinking he stopped at stage. Yeah, he probably stopped at stage 6 pass. I think that's a fair place to stop Usopp. You should have saw his face, his eyes white, and he looked at the corner away, and the camera's entire reputation flashed before his eyes. Yeah, I saw that. That's exactly what I was talking about before. Wait, teen couples like 18, 19? Or are we talking about some Kendrick shit? Couples, teens, we don't know what it is. The entire Green Apple as first answer is divinely correct. Yeah. I really do love Green Apple, man. Didn't he also have like 3 terabytes just for corn? That's almost as much as your collection. First of all, I don't even think I have 3 terabytes of manga panels in my PC. You know what it was? I was actually thinking about that. I was talking about this with my girlfriend when I was showing her a video like explaining the whole situation. Because it was my first time looking at the whole Akari thing. Let me finish off this and then I'll go back to that. The fandom can be pretty annoying, not gonna lie. I don't care what the story Oda made it. They're equal. Z is fodder. Whole verse is a Nami victim. The Super remake finna be so peak. Perfected Blue versus Amasu. That's the stuff I'm more excited about. If it was just a remake of Super or like a Kai version of Super, I'd be pretty mad. I'm pretty sure it's a Super remake is supposed to be a 1-to-1 to the manga. I think the manga is better written, so I'm more okay with that. That to me is completely fine. Roshi is going against Jiren is my favorite moment in the whole series. It's not a bad moment. It's actually a pretty badass moment. But it's like, how do you explain to Super fans who own, because most anime fans are anime watchers, so it's like. So it's like, how are you supposed to explain that shit to people? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with Super Remake being the manga, because I do think that the manga also has better moments. I told this to my friend in a voice message after like the reveals got out. Like, I'm happy about this because it also gives Vegeta, Super Saiyan God Vegeta, an extra go at it. In terms of like the Black Saga. I want to see Goku Black go Super Saiyan, then go Super Saiyan Rose. I thought it was very repetitive. The Goku Black Saga was very repetitive. They go in, they get their asses beaten, come back. They go in, they get their asses beaten, come back. They go in again. They get their asses beat. This time they fuse. Then they go back. It's like, come on now. When I understand it, they justified it as a manga adaptation. Also, the Moro arc is in pre-production. Good. I think that's good. Can't believe we're getting both the Super remake and the Moro arc. I'm happy about that. See, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff I can mess with. That is true. We also have we will be fine with the same thing on repeat as a dozen times. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's just annoying. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on the predictions of the new Dragon Ball game? I don't really play Dragon Ball games like that. The only one I got was Sparking Zero because I thought it was going to be like a fun game to play with my friends until I found out almost none of my friends got it, including my one friend that literally has Kaioken in his fucking PlayStation, in his PlayStation login name. But it's like, whatever. Yeah, I made it time for the stream. Missed the last one. Sadly, you're good, troll. We're gonna get into like the stuff in a second. I'm just kind of going through like the emotions with everybody. Where are people getting fucking terabytes? For fuck's sake, I'm on 900 gigabytes. That's what I'm saying, bro. Oh shit! I got an interesting power scaling video for you to make. P Diddy versus Jared Fogle. I'm not making that video. Fuck, I'm not making that. I don't. I get very uncomfortable with all this like, with all these like dudes and stuff. Just because like my thing is like this, right? It's like, I like watching content. I like watching content on like the downfall of, or like the like what happened to this person, or like this famous internet personality and so on and so forth. But it's also like getting it, like actually finding the evidence and the information for that stuff has got to get pretty dark in some cases. I don't know, man. It's already a lot of research to look for shit for manga, and it's like I know where to look for the stuff for manga. Imagine having to find a place to like look for all that stuff. I don't know. Shit's weird. This is why you have your stuff on your phone, not on your PC. On my notes is why Bleach sucks. That's my corn. That was actually something I was telling my girlfriend about. How do you know you aren't just hallucinating your girl? Don't do that to me. Don't do that. I've been off my meds for like 5 years, and she only just popped up. Do not do that to me. A lot of character arcs in Z are extended in the super manga, but not in the anime. I think they're trying to DBS Kai it. Can you look in Discord real quick? Sure. Wowzers, Goku going Super Saiyan for Krillin for the 5th time with no sparkly Vincent impact frames, yeah. Yeah. The Big 3 in Dragon Ball is back in 26. Yeah, it is. After the new DLC, I'm hopping back on Sparking Zero. I'd be down to get back into it. Can you make One Piece meme/troll video or stream? What do you mean by that? Like I react to memes? I could probably make like a separate memes folder on the Discord, and you guys can like upload like safe for work memes that I think it's always been safe for work actually. I don't really check the memes channel on our Discord a lot. All of it should be fine though, but I could always do like a meme stream competition where like you guys vote on like what's the best meme of the week for the stream. I've been thinking about that. One of the YouTubers that I watch, Farfa, he does that for like Yu-Gi-Oh memes. Granted, it's a whole community based thing, not just his own, not just like his own thing. I've already have Maki into Naruto. I have her soloing Shippuden or maybe losing to Kaguya. Maki specifically, she at least gets through part 1 for me. At least through part 1 for me. Let's see over here. We two are awkward fellows. The Galactic Patrol Saga. We got the memes. What did you want me to check out, Bob? Or is it in the break room? If it's break room stuff, I'll check it on my phone. Because that's more of like the mod, that's the mod room. What do you have here? What the fuck is happening here? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What the fuck are you guys playing? What the fuck are you guys playing? The ultimate original One Piece analysis by a Japanese translator? Cool. Okay. I'm gonna put this down. Is that a dog? Is Akari boxing with Arlong? Maybe, but Arlong might rip him to shreds. Oh, it's in memes? Got you. Would you eat this? What am I gonna eat? 3,000 calorie full breakfast? This is a full English breakfast that's 3,000 calories. That's a lot of calories. Isn't that like a whole day's worth of intake for calories? Jesus Christ, that's the... Nah, I already saw Glizzy's. I don't eat pork. I definitely do not eat pork. Fuck, I do eat bacon. I don't eat pork, but I will eat bacon. I don't eat mushrooms. I definitely don't fuck with hash browns because they're too greasy. Alright. We gotta just delete this. We gotta just delete that. Alright, that's... You know, I was thinking about this for a second. I was thinking about this for just a fucking second. I was thinking about it. I was like, This is an English breakfast. There's bound to be beans at one fucking point. But then I saw a steak, and I was like, that steak looks really fucking good. I saw some mushrooms. You know, I don't eat mushrooms personally, but hey, those mushrooms, they look like one could dog them down, as the old heads would say. The bacon, the sausages, I mean, I'm not eating a glizzy. I'd definitely fuck up some bacon, but I wouldn't eat a glizzy, right? But you had to just pull out a fucking can of beans, didn't you? You just had to make me hungry, all for then just to kill my... I might not even eat today. I might not even eat today because you put that bullshit on my fucking screen for everybody else here. I might just remove your mod status. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just for that shit, I might even just remove mod status. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then you choose to laugh in my face. Alright. Alright. That bullshit. That is what I like to call that bullshit. Oh, since you're about to look at Discord, let me post. Yeah, if you want to post the raws, we can. Naruto research. I just see a mountain level feat. What am I supposed to tell you? One Piece. What do you mean? Hear me out. Hey, so, you can hear me out as a Pokemon. Epstein versus Diddy. Have you seen the last drama? That's what I'm saying. What do you mean, W Bob? Oh, Six is back. You're just like my grandma. She's always says she'd never eat pork but loves bacon. Because bacon, in my opinion, isn't pork. That's just that's God's gift to Earth, and I don't even believe in God. How do we tell Eon he has two giant beans filtrating his blood inside of him? They're called kidneys, all right. They're called kidneys. They're not beans, all right. All right. Yeah, I figured that 5 minutes was not going to be a lot. All right. Listen. The Naruto shit. Here's the thing. When it came to like the Naruto stuff, we were like really into the scaling. We were going back and forth with it. When it came to like this side of the series, when it comes to like this side of the series, to One Piece, it's like, what am I supposed to tell you, right? It's been 30 minutes and we've barely mentioned One Piece. It has been 30 minutes and we barely mentioned One Piece, but come on now. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. So, back to, like, the Lucari thing. One last thing. So, back to the Lucari thing. First of all, I don't have fucking 3 terabytes worth of porn. I don't know where the fuck you got that. And second of all, why the fuck would anyone ever say to their live stream, I've got 3 terabytes worth of porn, but at some point, some random shit's gonna get into that. Like, bro, why are you telling that to your chat, especially when you have allegations of CP popping up on your whole thing? Like, when I was watching through that whole, like, reaction thing for, like, Lucari and everything, when I was watching, like, the dissection of, like, everything that was going on with that whole situation, I was like, bro, just shut up, don't talk, maybe look for a lawyer. I don't know, man, but trying to explain this shit, you cannot explain this kind of stuff. You really can't. There's no explaining it, bruh. Run by... Clip that. Don't clip that, because you can actually take that shit completely out of context. Please don't clip that. I'm talking about a situation for another guy. I'm not talking about me. But I am saying that, like, just in general, like, I feel like when it comes... I feel like, especially with, like, that dude, it's like, bro, don't make it worse. Because, like, it's one thing to already be... It's one thing to, like, already, you know... be one of those people. Already have that shit. You fuck-ass disgusting human being. It's also another thing to, like, then just extend the situation by saying you have 3 terabytes. Like, that doesn't help it out at all. That just means that now you are not only mentally ill and gross, you're also now mentally ill, gross, and you're like Diddy levels of a gooner. Like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. That shit was crazy. Why do people even download porn? I had this discussion with a friend of mine. Actually, I had this discussion with my boys, like, years and years ago when we were, like, 18. One of them essentially said, like, the idea of, like, downloading your porn essentially comes down to, like, nothing is permanent, and if somebody deletes that shit and you want to look for it again, you're never going to find it again. I guess that's the reason. You might as well download it. The nobody is finding it inside his 3. Yeah, I guess. Who's the fuck is going to look at 3 terabytes worth of that shit? Bro said, live by the goon, die by the goon. That's what I'm saying. Cyberpunk, right? Right? Yeah, it's Cyberpunk, 100%. Yeah. Well, he also apologized and went into rehab, if that means anything. There's no redeeming having that kind of stuff. There's no redeeming having actual CP on any one of your devices. There's no redeeming that. But what I will say is that, like, if he's trying to better himself, I mean, good for him, I guess. But at that point, but once he gets out of there, he's also going to have a job application. There's no, like, going back to this kind of thing. People take that shit kind of very seriously, as they should. There's no... that person... I'm not... Here's the... deplatforming is just one of those things that I feel like if you really are sorry to the internet, I feel like you should just at that point deplatform yourself. Like, if you do something that is genuinely heinous, or you have something that is genuinely heinous, I feel like at that point, the best thing you could do, especially to show some level of remorse, is just to completely deplatform yourself and just be like, all right, I can't be on the internet anymore. Let me just move past it. I swear to God, Bob. I swear to God, I will actually power bomb you off of the Burj Khalifa. I will actually do a power bomb off of the Burj Khalifa, bruh. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me in the beans. That is not an actual threat, by the way. I am being very much jokeful, even when I say actually. Twitch is a joke at that point, yeah. He got a permaban on Kick, but a week ban on Twitch? There's no way! There's no way you only got a ban on Twitch! Nah, dude. Nah. 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 No fucking way. It's only been a fucking week. Killer Bean is a wonderful movie. You have to watch it. I'm not watching that shit. I really hope I get a gifted sub soon. Okay, that says, Mohaya. Mohaya. Onose. Onore no sono. Ashi wa. Kori no tairiku o mochi kudaku daro. Okay. I can never tell what's like the separation of words besides like obviously the no being the writing in Killer Bee is masterful. All right. Eon GPT, please translate to English. Let me actually, I can actually post that. I'm gonna pin this. I'm gonna pin this message. Yes, pin this. I'll look at that later. I'll definitely check that on my own time, or I'll definitely check that on a separate stream when we get to that point. When we reach 100K, you know what? If I ever reach 100K, I will stream Killer Bean. You know what? I'll stream it. I'll watch it through and through. I'll stream Killer Bean on like the Discord server. I'll watch it with everybody. Check general and pin those two. All right. If we get to 100K, if we ever get to 100K subs, I'll do that. I don't know about you guys ever getting me to 100K, but sure. Sure. If we ever get to 100K, sure. Jesus Christ. Dude, I don't want to. I'm probably going to actually spend an entire fucking week doing this, aren't I? Fuck me. I'm really going to have to spend 100 fucking days. Alright. We're going to have to spend time actually translating this shit. Does it have the... Okay, there is a problem with these, though. I can't read kanji. So, you see how, like, some of these... Fuck, this might actually be... I might actually have to go into, like, an actual editing software to, like, zoom in on these. Okay, so you see these little words on top of these? The ones that I'm hovering over right here? These little words over here, that's... Well, for one, that's katakana, but two, I think this is romaji. I can't read. Specifically, I can't read kanji. I don't know how to read kanji. Usually, when it comes to some of these translations, you can see the romaji on the side, so I can read these. I can't read the actual kanji characters. It's what helps like differentiate certain meanings between words. Yeah, that's a problem. I can't fully translate most of these. Could Danchenja destroy the Ten Tails? I think he could unironically split the Ten Tails, or at least deal it massive damage. Make a scaling video on Big Stein the Rumpinator. What the fuck is What's Big Stein the Rumpinator? Big Stein the Rumpinator. In English, please. There is a... I am not making a scaling video on that. Okay, it basically just means that I cannot read all forms of Japanese, therefore I would need the 2 simplified versions of Japanese in order to be able to read it. That's what it kind of means. Okay. None of this matters. Is Nami gonna die? It's probably the climate. One differs upon entering. Sickness becomes the extreme weather. Even the most northern spiders who sail the seas can suddenly get sick and die. It's a common occurrence. Even a little cold can kill you if you're not careful. Is there anyone on board who knows a little medicine? It's Nami. She just needs to eat meat that'll cure, right, Sanji? Well, I'll cook up some meat. She can. She can eat. That's basic care you'd give any sick person, but it won't necessarily make her well. Now, up to now, I've taken extra care in preparation of Nami and Vivi's meals. I made sure they are well balanced and had meat and vegetables. If something was going bad, I fed it to you guys. Hey, it all tasted pretty good though. Anyways, as long as I'm the ship's cook, you don't have to worry about basic nutrition. However, there are all sorts of special foods that are good for different diseases, but I don't know what she's got. Then feed her all of them. That's a good idea to make a healthy person. That's a good way to make a healthy person sick. 40 degrees Celsius, her fever's getting worse. There's sure to be a doctor in Alabasta, right? How much farther is it, baby? I'm not sure, but it'll take us at least a week. Does it hurt to be sick? Don't know. I've never been sick. Are you people even human? Okay. Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp have never been sick. Okay. You mean the same 10 tails that could easily flick away an island plus Biju? Yes, he could easily do that. An island plus Biju bomb is still weaker than a continental Don Chinjiao by a massive margin. Yes. Easily. Easily. And just to show you something, first of all, the Biju bombs are not island plus, but sure. Let's say Arj Island, right? Let's say Arj Island, like right here. 10 to the 9th to 10 to the 11th power. Yeah, let's look at what a continent has. 14, 15, 24, 25, 19, 20. That's over, let's see. 1, 2, 3, that's 1,000. 4, it would be somewhere upwards of at least 10,000 times worth of a difference. So yeah, Don Chinjiao would still massively upscale from a puny island level explosion. The topic is fresh. Could you make Maki versus Itachi or Maki versus Naruto clan or the Zenin clan? Size matters, though. Look at Don Bro. Yeah, he is way bigger than an average human as well. Yes, a continent in One Piece. You want me to, size 100% matters. You are 100% right about that. Size in One Piece does matter in the same way that it does in Naruto. Let's see. Let me show you some size, since you don't seem to be aware of One Piece sizes, right? Let's see here. Wow. All right. Give me 1 secundo, por favor. No, that's that. Let's go back. Okay. Let's see that. Let's see this. Let's see this. You remember that giant-tailed beast bomb that Kurama shot out? You remember that giant-tailed beast bomb that Kurama shot at one point? You know, the one that eventually created the battlefield where they did the final part of the Great Shinobi War? You know? You remember that part? Remember that? Let's see. Let's see real quick. Yes. Possibly because that's happened. I don't hear a heartbeat. Hurry. So way to save them. To where? The 4th Hokage? Okay. How much farther is it? Alright, so The most you can say about the massive tailed beast bomb that both Kurama and the Eight Tails charged up in order to create the biggest tailed beast bomb explosion, the biggest tailed beast bomb explosion was at the very best several kilometers in radius. Now, several kilometers in radius would be, if we translate the word several literally, would be 3 to 5 kilometers, right? Which would make it about 10 kilometers. But let's just say it's several upon several kilometers. The biggest tailed beast bomb, if you were to say that, let's say 3 times 3 or 5 times 5, the biggest explosion Kurama has made so far in the series is upwards of like 9 to 25 kilometers if you wank the ever-living fuck out of it. Here is a river. Here is a simple river. This simple river right here, this tiny little river that crosses Alabasta, yeah. A single island, by the way, is from that end of the bank to the other, 50 kilometers. The opposite end of the river, on its thinnest side, is 50 kilometers. Even if I wank the ever-living fuck out of this statement and say that the entirety of the 4th grade Shinobi Wars battlefield is like 25 kilometers, it would still be smaller than a single river. In an island, in an average-sized island in One Piece. Kurama's island, Kurama plus Gyuki's massive explosion is weaker than a guy who can split a continent in this verse. There is no reason for me to believe saying that One Piece Planet Side is not officially, obviously not everything has to be explicit, as you can just realize it by yourself. I mean, Mateo, here's the thing, right? Mateo. By the way, Mateo Odinson, that's a very cool name. I like the Odinson name. The thing about the One Piece verse is that even on the lowest estimations possible, using like whatever, an island is not that big. Okay, but the thing is that you can argue Alabasta is not an island, it's just an island. Is not an island at just an island at that ain't fair. What do you mean? It is an island. It's consistently considered an island. It's also considered a country. It's never considered a continent. This island is never considered an actual continent. And if you wanted me to actually show you something very, very interesting, let me show you something very interesting about Alabasta as an island itself. Where is the image? Actually, I'll just Google it. Alabasta Island. Where is Alabasta Island overhead? This is an actual... I'm not doing that. This is an actual map of Alabasta that Oda drew. You see this tiny little line right here? That's the 50-kilometer river. Takes place in multiple areas. I don't give a fuck about the multiple areas. I'm talking about the singular area where they all fought the Ten Tails, that massive whole crater that Kurama made alongside Gyuki. That battlefield is, even in a wanked out perspective, not even 25 kilometers. And even if it were 25 kilometers, even if I were to say that it was a 40-kilometer battlefield explosion created by the two strongest tailed beasts, after a massively charged up tailed beast bomb, it is still small enough to fit inside this tiny little river line. For context, there is no way you can scale out Alabasta, the Nine Tails and Eight Tails' biggest explosion to even be big enough to fit within that tiny river. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? I have, at best, to go with several kilometers. At the best estimation I have for this battlefield is several kilometers. That's like 3 to 5 kilometers at best. I can upscale that to 9 to 25 kilometers if I wanted to be disingenuous. And even then, still less than half the size of the fucking river. It's widened. Not even its long end, it's widened. The more amazing thing is that there is no island next to Australia-sized islands. Yeah. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? Yeah, the verses just don't compare. One Piece is just the strongest verse. Sorry, not the strongest, the stronger. Definitely not the strongest verse. Definitely not. That'd be actual massive wink. But yeah, it is wider than the widest and largest river by water discharge, the Amazon. How wide is the Amazon River? How wide is the Amazon River at its widest? The Amazon River at its widest is 40 kilometers. Alabasta has a river that is 10 kilometers larger than our biggest river, than our widest river. That's actually kind of crazy. Nami's gonna die. Nami, please don't die. That's another reason why people would say that, that's another reason why people would say it. It's a very goofy series. But I've said this before. It's actually quite the opposite. The goofier the series, what I'm saying is that even if the planet size is not confirmed, it is obvious that 20 million islands has to be really huge world. Planet Earth doesn't have a million. Yeah, and it's not just that. It's that if even zero... Let me show you something. Let me pull up the calculator real quick. The One Piece world has at least... if you upscale the number of islands on Earth to like a million, it would still have over 10 times the number of islands that Earth has on average. Alabasta is an average-sized country. It is an average-sized island within the context or... Alright. I don't like Rezi. I don't even like Chainsaw Man all that much. I'm not a closeted Rezi fan. She is a honeypot. Anyway. This number right here is 10 million. Let's multiply 10 million by 0.0... You know what? 0.1. 0.001. If even 0.001%, if even a thousandth of the norm of the amount of islands that existed in the One Piece world were the size of Alabasta, that has a river that is 10 kilometers wider than the widest river on our planet, and it has that width consistently throughout the entire fucking span of the island, and the width of that river is minuscule compared to the rest of the island, compared to the rest of the world. This is the island. If this fucking line is minuscule compared to the rest of the island, if even 0.01% of the islands in the One Piece world were as large as this island, and that is a massive lowball. Assuming that this island is the size of Australia, it would make the One Piece world about 156 times larger than our world without even taking into consideration the other 99.9999% of the islands and water. This isn't even taking into account the fact that the One Piece planet has gone through some big floods. Yeah, at the very least one big flood. Yeah. Tough question. Talk positively about Bleach or eat beans? Yo, did you guys know that Bleach is like one of like the best looking manga out there? Like, have you guys seen how awesome the character designs and the music are for Bleach? Man, Bleach has absolutely fantastic character designs, and it has some really cool fight scenes, and you know what? The characters, I'm not gonna lie, it has some of like the better character designs in shonen. Bleach is like unironically one of like the better series to watch if you're trying to get into anime. Yeah, it's some crazy shit, man. I'm telling you, some crazy shit. Is that sarcasm? If you don't like Bleach, then admit it. Oh, I don't like Bleach. Yeah, but all those things I do agree with. You know, Bleach does have some very interesting character designs, and like if you want to turn off your brain, it's 100% a series you can check out. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Anyway, yeah, no. There's no reason for me to even remotely believe that like the One Piece planet isn't massively larger than our own, at least over 100 times larger than our own. Like under any facet of, unless Oda gives me an actual scale for it, he says that like it's like 10 times larger, or like 12 times or 56 times larger or whatever, which he never will. I have no reason to believe it's even under 100 times larger than our planet. Why are you trying to hide the fact that I'm not a Resi fan? I'm not a Resi fan. I don't really like one Chainsaw Man characters all that much, to be honest. I don't even. It's one of those series where like I have a hard time even finding out if I like I think I like Power a lot. I liked Power and I liked Aki. They were fun characters. It kind of sucked to see them go. I like Clorox. Yuhabaha is too cool to hate. Cool. Is it good looking? Yeah, it's a very good looking series. But yeah, like all I'm saying though is that like going back to like the Naruto versus One Piece shit, it's like the more I read through One Piece, it's the more I'm just convinced. The more I'm convinced every single time that like there's the scaling just doesn't fucking the scaling just doesn't compare. One Piece versus Naruto is a mismatch in terms of most matchups, but the reason isn't because Naruto's too strong, it's because it's probably too weak. In most cases, Naruto characters, at least like the vast majority, I'm talking about like 99% of the characters just don't compare. Clorox is almost as buns as Gurren Lagann. I didn't say that. Honestly, Chainsaw Man is like high plus mid as a series. Yeah, it has some very good highs. LARPing. You can't spell, Jake. What the fuck? Planet level with high balls using the data book. Yeah. The best scale I got for Stage of Six Pass is like moon level. Yeah. And I believe Naruto's planet has to be smaller than ours. You believe it has to be smaller? I at least give it like the same size as Earth. I don't like going smaller than Earth, personally. Unk, I would go to the island with you. What island? What the fuck island are you talking about? Is it sad? It is sad too. Naruto arguably has arguably more realistic scaling, which, like as I said, which I like, as I said, but fans don't want that. Yeah, Chainsaw Man is pretty terrible. You think so? I don't think it's terrible. I just think that the writing gets to like very. The writing feels very. What's the word I would like to use here? The writing lacks direction. The writing in Chainsaw Man at certain points feels like it lacks directions. Naruto has better hacks than One Piece. Yeah, depending on which ones we're talking about. Like Kamui, fantastic hacks. The reflection shit, fantastic hacks. But there's also just straight up Logias, just straight up being elements and just having like almost next to no weaknesses. Or immortality, just straight up like immortality, not regeneration based immortality, like you can have your head blown out and it just comes back. That kind of shit is crazy, especially on more characters. It has direction, you just don't let part 2 cook. I let part 2 cook for like 6 months, man. There was no way I was giving it more of that time. Oh, dear. Sugar alone is a better hacks than anything. Logias are there, are there as well. I mean, to be fair, there really isn't a hacks in Naruto that like if you touch them, they just automatically turn into a doll that like everybody forgets about. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. Kuma sent Perona away and perplexed Nami, someone who is at even smaller distances saw light beams and directly explained what happened, meaning Perona is bare minimum moving at light. Yeah. Literally showed you the direction and you still didn't care. Let's not act like Chainsaw Man has a problem with direction. You just don't like Chainsaw Man? It felt kind of directionless, I'm not gonna lie, it did. Like, the whole moment, like, all of those moments between, like, like the entire mini saga of like Denji not being able to go into Chainsaw Man and like him having to get almost a handy from what was it the other demon or whatever, the whole thing that happened with like his the Makima 2 or whatever, them going to like the underworld, like that shit kind of felt, all that shit kind of felt directionless. Like, even if there was direction, you cannot, like, I'm someone who can follow, I feel like I can follow a story pretty well. I feel like I can follow a story pretty well. I wasn't following it all that well. It feels like, especially, like, week to week, maybe if you're reading it back to back and, like, consuming it constantly, it might make sense. But it's like, when you're going off of, like, a single read, it's just not that, it just does not have that much direction. Especially if you're reading it day to day. Maybe with, like, the full package, sure. But, like, Chainsaw Man in general does not feel like it has that much direction. Especially if you're reading it week to week, it just feels like, what the fuck is happening? And here's the thing, there are writers who I feel like often try to do that, where it's like they're trying to make you go through the same rut that Denji is going through. So in the moment, it might be harder to read through than like going through it all at once, like binging it. But even then, it's not a good feeling to go through. You know what I mean? So I just don't care for it like that. Maybe I'll get back into Chainsaw Man in the future, but I feel like I would like the story to first finish, so I don't feel like I'm ever back into, like, this hole again. You know what I mean? It's not about what it does, it's how easily it is. Sugar just touches. Logias exist. They just exist and that's it, yeah. They don't really need some crazy power. It's just, did you find the fruit? Did you eat it? Yeah, it's crazy. Like, Naruto does have some, to keep it a buck, that regen stuff in One Piece is overrated. It's not different from regen. I've seen JJK, it's similar exact limitations. The limitation in JJK is running out of energy, A-Train. The limitation of JJK is running out of energy. With the Emu immortality stuff, that's just straight up you being immortal unless you fight an individual that specifically not only has a type of hockey that 1 in a million people have, and B, though that 1 in a million people, you are 1 in a million out of 1 in a million people that, well, not 1 in a million. You're one of a few of those million of people that can actually coat their attacks in that hockey. Like, yeah, it has limitations. Those limitations are far, at least as of this point of the writing and the story, are far, way less fucking common. Like, in most other series, regen, you can stop it by, like, either overpowering the regen, killing every last bit of the person, or, I don't fucking know, basically making them run out of the regen like they did in Demon Slayer, or like they do in JJK by having it, like, go down. By basically, like, attacking them constantly and constantly until the regen just can't keep up. That's not an issue for One Piece. The issue for One Piece is, like, its regen, specifically with, like, the Emu, God's Knights, the Mark Bearers. It's really just, can you hurt them with Advanced Conqueror's Haki? Yes, no. Can you hurt them with Advanced Conqueror's Haki repeatedly? Yes, no. If you can't meet yes on both of those prerequisites, there's no stopping them. You cannot slow them down at all. There's no other limitation to it. Based on O'Hara Globe, even the smallest moon in the solar system, so I don't know about that. Base Luffy damaged Nel and Usopp was, okay. Somebody said something before. Yami Sukehiro would have been a good character. One Piece, 100% he would have. Could have been an amazing crew for those seas. How do you see those verses? If I go by the... Oh, Mark, you can either join as a YouTube member for like $4, or just do a one-time, like... Or just do like a one-time joining of my, or join a one-time membership thing. It's like, for like $2 on my Ko-Fi. That's really it. So that combo attack didn't tire out Emu? I don't believe so. I haven't seen Emu get tired or panting. I'm not denying that regenerated from him, but he was clearly tiring. Why did you think he left the island after the combo attack? Did he leave the island because of the combo attack, though? Was that the reason why he did it? I mean, everybody blasted him and he just attacked rocks, took him over, and then disappeared. You can look at the chapters yourself. The combo attack that everybody hit him with did not make Emu leave. If you're talking about Joy Boy's Haki, well, that's just the strongest Haki we've seen in the verse up until now. Yeah. Emu was chilling after that combo attack? He was. In Demon Slayer, they use a specific swords or poison. Yeah. No, but in Demon Slayer, you can also tire out your regen. Wasn't one of like the demons like slowly tiring out their ability to regen because they were going at it for so much? It was something like that, right? I could be wrong. That I could be wrong. After we finish Luffy versus Naruto, let's move on to Zoro versus Sasuke. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. I'm not doing this shit again. Next time I make a big video like this, shit, man. Shit, man. It's got to be for like 50k or like 100k. Emu did become winded after Harold was killed. There could be an argument to be made that killing traces of Emu's immortality, or like traces of those who gain the Emu's mark, might actually affect Emu himself. There is an argument for that. I have seen it. I actually could agree with it, but that's non-Dami reverse side. Those are basically non-Dami reverse side contract bearers. Same song, different verse. Covenant members are like Croxes. Croxes seems like Ichigo versus Luffy. Luffy might unironically be too strong for Ichigo by end of series, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if I have Ichigo at like large planetary, he never lands a hit on Luffy. I could unironically make the argument that Luffy curb stomps Ichigo because he just constantly destroys his organs until he can't land another hit. Ichigo just never makes up the speed difference, and there's no even with like Bleach's highest of highest wanked out MFTL scaling, you cannot compare him to Luffy in terms of speed. They just don't have it. Yes, it was Kokoshibo versus Guillaume and Sanemi. Ah, okay. Thank you, Lapis. How you been, Lapis? How was the snow in? How was the whole like snow situation for you guys? One second, guys. Okay, dude, Ichigo just straight up pocket dimension and full bring. Yeah, but pocket dimensions are created by hacks, and I genuinely don't. And unless you can quantify to me how much power you need to have to create that pocket dimension, I don't really care. Like, creation feats do not scale to attack potency. Also in Bleach, it's basically stated that if you're straight up stronger than somebody, not stated, it's implied that if you're straight up stronger than somebody by a massive amount, you can ignore their hacks. I don't believe that Ichigo was so powerful he destroyed a pocket dimension. I believe he was just so much stronger than the guy who made those dimensions that it just didn't matter. Law versus Fujitora? That probably might be an interesting matchup. They added aging poison to the mix, and it's the final fight. They reveal new parts of the final poison, like Sukuna doing binding vows. Are you talking about against? What's his face against Musan? Snow fucking sucks. Yeah, Snow sucks, especially as a homeowner. That shit is fucking terrible, dude. Is that 5 gigajoules for real? What 5 gigajoules? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Toby Fox released some news that the person managing his copyright has shifted, and now you can most likely use it without issues with monetization. Also, the snow is fine, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that shit, man. I was wondering this whole time, because like I know we were making like posts about it on the Discord and stuff like that, so I was just wondering like if you guys were all good as well. Let's see. 50 degrees is crazy. It was a good bit. Okay, I'll check that out later then. But aren't those ghosts making themselves visible? Candace on Ichigo after she fires Kenpachi and weaker shit. The final fight with Muzan is terrible. I agree, it is. Chainsaw Man Part 2 feels as so long because the chapters are on average half as long as One Piece chapters. Are they? That's insane. That's insane, man. Candace on each... Oh yeah, it was like 5 gigajoules worth of damage. Yeah. I think she said she would like blasted Ichigo and them with like 5 gigajoules worth of damage. How much is a gigajoule, by the way? How much is a gigajoule? Let me see. What was the versus battle wiki thing I typed in before? Versus battle wiki AP. So it's like every 1,000, right? Which one is it? Energies in joules. Okay, so this is like 6 joules of force. Okay. So like 60 joules of force. Okay. So then when we go into like the threes, then you get into like the thousands. 3,000 gigatons. She said gigajoules, right? How much is a gigajoule of force? It's 100 megajoules, okay? I don't know how much a megajoule is in terms of numbers. Not that much, yeah. The reason that it's bad is because she fries Kenpachi with less power. That's what I'm saying. Bleach characters are not that strong. I don't know why people just don't like hearing that. Like, the context of the verse, like, the very fabric of its existence is essentially hinging on a single guy just existing so that everything doesn't crumble in upon itself. These guys breaking through dimensions in that verse means absolutely nothing to me. Bleach is not a powerful verse. If Kenpachi Zaraki could get blasted out by a fucking, 5 gigajoules of force that can, like, destroy a building, I have no reason to believe the guy is that strong to begin with. It also goes hand in hand with Aizen mountain level bragging. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Aizen was out here bragging about wiping out mountains with the force of his blade. He's just catching up to Madara Uchiha, who is weaker than a random mid-tier in One Piece. It's so crazy to hear that, like, Bleach has been the strongest verse for so long, just to possibly make the argument that it might not only be the weakest of the verse, but Naruto and Bleach are also far weaker than One Piece. That shit's so crazy to me. Ichigo versus Yusuke. They're both very slow. But Yusuke, I heard through some of his scaling, can actually wipe out, like, a star or some shit. He's, like, star level or something. He can at least wipe out a planet. Ichigo's, like, large planetary at best because of the shaking the 3 realms things, which only he and Yhwach would scale to. I have no reason to believe. But the Almighty does not one-tap. What does it one-tap? What does the Almighty do besides show you what the exact future that's gonna happen? Oh, but you can turn the future into whatever future you want it. Yeah, you also waste a fuck ton of Reiatsu. I've read Bleach now. There's no bullshitting me at this point. I know for a fact that Yhwach needs to use up a fuck ton of his energy just to either come back to life or just to gain power. That's why he was Osvalening like 3-4 times. When he performed his final Ashvalan, the one that took away the powers of all of the like the final Stern Raiders that was still active as Royal Guard, when he basically wiped the rest of them out, or he took back the energy that the last few of those motherfuckers had, the last 2 of those motherfuckers, that's when he revived. If you can kill Yhwach, if you can unironically kill Yhwach, and he cannot Ashvalan, he has nowhere to take energy from, he loses. He can't revive himself. Yhwach is trash. Almighty is only helpful, especially if, like, what? Oh, I can set up traps to hit my opponent? Okay, I stepped in a trap. Oh, man, my foot is bleeding. Oh, man, you stabbed the side of my chest. As long as those traps aren't fatal, I don't have to give a shit, especially if you have any character that has any kind of regen. Aizen did not existence erase that shit. Glazing Kenpachi for destroying an asteroid. Actual Zoro movie victim. That's what I'm saying. Dude, look at the memes. Bleach has been the strongest, and that has never changed. Oh, no. Bleach has been the strongest because when people started scaling Bleach, it was the very start of people popularizing power scaling. We've all been power scaling has been a thing since all the way back in the 60s when people used to argue who would win in a fight between Batman and Superman. It was a thing back in the playgrounds when people used to argue Goku versus Superman. It has always been a thing. It has always been a thing. It has been and it always will be and it will never change because guess what? Other series come out. Series that have been out can get newer scaling. And most people don't know how to power scale well, or, better yet, power scaling is all about interpretation and there's a bunch of ways you can interpret these characters to do and say things. Bleach isn't going to be the strongest or isn't the strongest because, oh man, that's what some guys on the internet said. I don't give a fuck what other people's opinions on the internet was. I can come to my own conclusion and I can understand the scaling of the series just as well as they can. But because I don't have any bias towards this series, at least in a positive light, and I'll be honest, I had bias towards it in a negative light. But regardless, if it was a powerful verse, I would still say it's a powerful verse. I don't give a shit. I don't like Superman. I could not give 2 shits about Superman. I think Superman is a very boring character.
I never cared about Superman. I don't like the character, and I don't think there's ever been a version of Superman that I've liked. I might give my, My Adventures with Superman, I might give that one a try, because he actually looks like a different personality in that one, but sure. But the point is, just because I don't like Superman doesn't mean I wouldn't say, yeah, no, Superman in one version of Superman could sneeze away a universe. There is a version of Superman that could hold a black hole in his hand. That shit's crazy. With Bleach, I take into consideration the cosmology of the verse. I take into consideration the characters' feats, and on average, I'm supposed to believe that the characters can wipe out universes when one of them at the peak of that point of his power was happy he could wipe out mountains. Yeah, sure. Listen, people in my chat, some of my mods also believe that Bleach is universal. I don't agree with them. That's fine. We still have discussions. We still talk about it. It doesn't change anything. Because in the same way that I can make my arguments, they can make them as well. Bleach has multiple lines of scaling that, depending on how you choose to interpret it, can get you very high highs or very low lows. I usually scale every single series on the lowest metric possible because that's the bare minimum. Anything else could be quantified or could be interpreted because you can just interpret things on higher ends. I like interpreting shit on low ends, but that's just my metric of scaling in general. If Bleach actually is universal, okay, so be it. It is universal. It's still the strongest of the big three. I don't give a shit. Either way, I still wouldn't give a shit. I still wouldn't scale it. It doesn't matter, dude. It really doesn't matter. Is an inspiration to anyone. You just don't like him because he wipes away anime. No, I don't like Superman because I find him to be a very boring character that usually has to be removed from the story in order for things to happen. Otherwise, he just solves everything. I don't like Superman's power set, but then again, I also don't like the Viltrumite power set. I don't like heroes that are invulnerable, that can fly. The Superman power set, the Wonder Woman power set, I just don't like that power set. Super strength, super speed, and vulnerability, I think that's the most basic and boring power set of them all. That's why I don't like Superman. Superman just isn't an interesting character to me. The whole story, been there, done that, seen other people do interpretations of it. Goku's done the interpretation of it. It's all fine. I don't really care. You can assume why I don't like Superman. You can assume why I don't like all this other shit. It's not that deep. I don't care because they're strong. It doesn't mean that to me. I have no issues with saying Superman is stronger than Goku. I don't give a fuck. You care about that, though. You seem to care about that. I can choose to dislike a character and still say that they're strong. I can choose to like a character and say that they're weak. I love Naruto. He is not that powerful of a character, at least in context of like most other set of fiction, in the same way that I absolutely love Luffy. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. As a matter of fact, Gear 5 Luffy is my favorite character of all time. He would get curb stomped by Superman. Goku. He would get curb stomped by plenty of characters. Rimuru, Anos Voldigode, or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care. I don't personally care. Because how strong a character is does not affect how much I like them. I would actually say that's a very childish mentality to have. But it's also a fine mentality to have. It's not about strength. I just don't like the characters. It's that simple. You can make whatever conclusions you like. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm on Eon's side on calcs. In most cases, they are not necessary. Statements exist. Calcs in these cases are running away with the reality of you must. Also, can also shot tiny Superman out of his hands sometimes. Yeah, that's also true. You could probably do that. There are some people here that scale One Piece to universal. I don't fucking debate with them. I don't care to debate if they think that One Piece is universal. That's another line of meta. You can get One Piece to universal. You can get Naruto to universal. You can get Bleach to universal. You can get all 3 series to planetary. You can get all 3 series to like continental on the lowest end possible. It doesn't fucking matter, man. People really just get upsetty spaghetti because you said the series that they like isn't as strong, you don't think is as strong as they think it is, or they've been led to believe that it is, and they get upsetty spaghetti over that shit, and then they make like, oh, you just don't like it because they're stronger. I don't give a fuck if Bleach is stronger. I could give 2 shits. I don't have to prove anything to Bleach. I've actually read through the whole series, and I can tell you right now, what makes me dislike it more is its dog shit writing. It's terrible ass dog shit writing. That's the part that upsets me. Eon, for reference, Eon doesn't like Vader. Opinions exist. Yes, I don't like Darth Vader. I think he looks like a fucking bitch. I think I would actually slap the dog shit out of Darth Vader if I met him in real life. He doesn't scare me at all, especially with that stupid ass, fuck ass helmet he has. But guess what? Does that stop me from saying that, narratively speaking, if you go by the comic books, Darth Vader would literally probably fling the Earth to the sun? Maybe. Can he stop an entire fucking planet's worth of water from like destroying a ship from underneath? Maybe. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Darth Vader probably doesn't wipe out One Piece. I don't give a fuck though. I don't like Darth Vader because he looks fucking stupid. L opinion bean eater? At the end of the day, it's a subjective matter, not objective. That's what I'm saying, man. And no, I'm not a bean eater. Although if it isn't an L opinion, that's fine. L opinion is fine, bean eater is not. You are okay. Let me go wipe my tears and blood from my ears. Yeah, be right back. Type shit. Subjectivity is a thing for a reason. That's what I'm saying. But people can't handle that shit, so they have to go, oh, you just don't like it. Bleach may be stronger, but Luffy makes sea waves dance just with his presence. That's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, I like Luffy because he's a fun character, a good guy, and he has a goal and path that's not only interesting, but the entire context of the story is fucking amazing. Seeing Gear 5 work the way that it works, seeing him turn his actual weakness into a fucking bouncy toy for him, even if he can't, like, dip his toe in it, is fine by me. I don't care if Ichigo blasts through fucking dimensions, or if he is so powerful he fights a guy that can, like, make grains of sand come across all reality or some bullshit. I don't give a fuck. It's not about the strength of the characters. I don't like Bleach because Bleach has terrible writing. Kubo is a fucking hack when it comes to writing. Fantastic ideas, terrible execution almost all the way around. God damn. People get so upsetty spaghetti when you call out Bleach for what it is. And you know what? There is a low-end meta for Bleach, and I'm just as allowed to say, yeah, these motherfuckers are like planetary at best, and that's if I'm giving them like every benefit of the doubt, because I don't think that Yuhabaha or Ichigo and any of these motherfuckers can just swing a blade one time. Can swing a blade one time and that just automatically wipes out the planet. There's nothing within the context of the series that makes me believe that. When I get back to consuming Bleach, I will continue my production of Bleach Reholified. That would be lovely, Lapis. That would be absolutely lovely. Also, let me see something real quick, because Halo Jeff before said something about chapter 205. So I'm gonna check that out real quick. Today is it's gonna be about 16 more sessions after this. I realized today I just didn't get any work done, and it's almost time for me to go get lunch. 2 minutes from now, either way, 90 seconds, Nami, Chopper. They must have calculated all the smoke and done. It's been a big place that is invisible from the sky. And the clock tower, I can't think of anywhere else under my noses. Clock tower, it shook. Ribbit, he got shot by his fro gun. Gum. Yeah. Slays my soldiers as though they were mere bugs, and yet I've impaled you, I've buried you alive, I've dried you up, and every time you come back, you still don't get it. Entrance, what are you doing here? Did I get it's almost lunchtime. Yeah, it is almost lunchtime. I know you're in my time zone. Yeah, it is lunchtime. Why do people keep comparing Black Clover to One Piece? Wins pretty much every time. It's just not interesting. There's just 30 seconds to go. Calculations. From the scaling that you've given me, yeah, that's actually very much true. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. Over 33 seconds. Promoted this huge cannonball. Was it in these pages? I gotta, like, scroll up for one of the last things Jeff said. I hate to alarm you, but Bleach has foreshadowing. What foreshadowing does that dog shit series has? And you know, One Piece fans love foreshadowing, so there's your foreshadowing. No, it has callbacks to it. I don't believe Kubo did anything even remotely close to foreshadowing in that fuck-ass series. And if he did do foreshadowing, it was fucking trash, dude. Bleach just has bad writing all around. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it was in the left corner of the magazine. Damn, I don't think Jeff... Yeah, I don't think... Yep, it's unfortunate. I don't think I can go... Wait, hey, if... Let me just add him on Discord. Can you please let me know Okay. Do you think Luffy got stronger after his fight with Cracker? I do. I have no reason not to. Yuhabaha's name erased. Okay. Yeah, in the Bleachverse, names have power, so that would actually mean something. Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So it's 216. Works 15 seconds as he ignites. What are you trying to do? What are you thinking? No matter where you lose, it'll be a grave. Yeah. I was on 216. What the fuck? Never heard of proof. City of Alubarna. Is it? Oh, do we just not have it then? Is that the case? We just don't have it? I think that might be the case. To me, it's back on the blade. Sacrifice it on people. She's my... I'm gonna just look up the chapters then. I don't care about this anymore. Color. Let's go to 205. I was right about the 205. I was right about it. I guess I just didn't have the chapter page. Mr. Clean. There we go. No, yeah. Hurry up, aid, blood wasted and tears, Vivi, the marine soldiers, I calculated the smoked, clock tower, yeah. Ribbit, I was careless, blah, blah. Soldiers, boys, you don't get it, do you? Up there in a minute, this area, what are you doing? I smoke, I found a note besides the balcony, I smoke, looking for you guys, Oro 2, what are you doing? Go, north up. Clock tower, the towers, or could smash it, might be trigger it. I have an idea, the calculations. Where is that stated? I'm on 205. Never read One Piece, so Bleach is better for real. Trying to find the Curry Bandits there around this room somewhere. 203. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Satisfied, no one can place. This is the Poneglyphs, 3000, 306, 206. There's no recorded, only history being run here. The word Pluton isn't even mentioned once. We'd made a deal for a night ago. You're an excellent partner, but I'm going to kill you. During Baroque works, extremely. Yeah. Square. Iron Pillar, surrender. Paragon of Kindness. Help me escape. 3 more minutes. 2. And then everyone who stands in my way will be destroyed. You will die like a dog cobra. Where is it? Only 2 minutes. Half a cannon destroyed. Everything in the area 3 miles wide. Okay. That's the page we needed. Let's see. One Piece. Thank you. Alright, we already got this page? Lovely. Cancel. Hey, we already have it. Lovely. Blue Lock is crazy this week. Lovely. Not gonna lie, don't see Black Clover above One Piece, but still respect your opinion. There's actual, from what Six has explained it to me, there is actual universal scaling for Black Clover even on like low ends. It's actually quite consistent depending on how you choose to interpret the dimension spawned by these characters. Yeah, if that's the case, Black Clover, I would probably argue One Piece is faster by sheer number of arcs that it's had where the characters have been light speed versus arcs that Black Clover has had where the characters are light speed. I don't know if there's any quantifiable metrics in terms of multipliers for Black Clover, so I'm not going to say that yet. I would argue that One Piece is faster, but most characters in Black Clover should easily one-shot. They should easily one-shot. Yes. Why do people keep comparing Black Clover? The common conception One Piece is strongest at consistency, not foreshadowing, but it has, but oh well. Bleach is consistently not consistent. It is consistently not consistent. Yeah, we get consuming Bleach, reholified. Okay, so I think we're caught up then. Speed doesn't really mean shit to time magic, I guess. But there's more to reinforce than Alabama 3 miles wide. You'll see them when you read Alabasta. I got you. I would never disagree with you just because Neverland exists. I would disagree with you just because Yuno's Neverland does exist. Does that like that stops time magic, but like, huh? I guess. I guess so. I guess moving inside Promised Neverland does a thing. Yeah, yeah. Multipliers, even if only finite speeds, you can easily get Black Clover above One Piece. With the infinite, it gets more insane. Got you. It stops the flow of time. Yeah, okay, okay. No, you're right. You're right. I forgot about Neverland. I forgot about Neverland. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can Luffy use both ACOC and ACOA at the same time? He does. Kaido literally states it when he's fighting against well, he states that he's covered in armament, colors of armament and colors of conquerors when he's in Gear 5. Kaido specifically makes the claim. What is the uni meta? Because I find it hard to believe. The uni meta mostly has to come from the creation of Glam World, which is stated to be infinite in size while inside of it. There are characters that can also sense characters while inside that separate infinite time space. Within that separate time space, Yami's able to sever it completely in half with his Dimension Slash because it goes straight through dimensions. There is an argument to be made as well that the Tree of Qliphoth is a connection between other worlds, specifically a separate time space, that it is stated to be its own universe, which is the Demon Realm. The Demon Realm, even someone like, I think it was Lucifero, was stated to be far beyond the boundaries of Glam World, which I think was stated by the witch herself, one of those clover mages themselves. And then there's something that has to do with like Lucius absorbing the power of all of the other demons, including Lucifero, and then also absorbing power from the Qliphoth to then allow him to essentially have not only the entire power of the demon realm, but also I think it was like another realm or whatever. He basically is like multi upon multi. Like Lucifero and Lucius, like they're fucking they're stupid powerful. So does it only in Gear 5? No, he can code himself in armament and conquers. It stops the flow of time, but it also is more akin to immeasurable than infinite, since Lucius' spell can form, they can dissipate, and Bell states, Yuno and me control the flow of time. Okay, okay. Love how One Piece Time Fruit can only move forward, no stupid time paradox. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, that's the thing. Like, do I like Black Clover less than One Piece? Yeah, but it's like, am I okay with it being, like, universal? I'm fine with it. Like, that's fine. Like, that's the thing that I hope people, like, try to understand. It's like, it's never about, like the verses that you like, you obviously arguing that they're the strongest or whatever. It's just about, listen, do you like power scaling? Yeah. Can you wrap your head around certain stupid lines of logic? Yeah. Can the author just write whatever the fuck they want? Yeah, it's just accepting that sometimes the verse you don't like might be strong and the verse that you do like is strong. The baby Hitler argument. I don't know about the baby Hitler argument. I don't know how the fuck this pertains to the baby Hitler argument, but yeah. Sure, I guess. I would say this, but I had Black Clover at 9D and immeasurable. Yeah. Backward time travel would have too much questions about why doesn't Toki just take future Luffy back to the past of the theme or something like that. Yeah. Like, I would say Lucius is at bare minimum multi plus and infinite in speed. Yeah, that also works. Some people put Black Clover at universal AP and MFTL plus combat, attack perception, and reaction speed mainly built off of Dream Magic and the Qliphoth tree. Yeah. For the Yami splitting the realm stuff, I'd see it at Black Magic affecting it and traveling the dimension like Kaguya. I don't know if I'm wrong though, but that's just how I see it. You could kind of see it as like his dimension magic. If you go by like the whole like hacks based argument, like everything is just hacks based and not attack potency based, it's like not really, because it's also kind of implied that magic does directly scale to the user. There is a couple of implications that actually do imply that magic is like directly scales to the user, and Yami can straight up split an infinite time space in half. Yeah, like I love One Piece, but I'm okay with knowing Yujiro low diffs Luffy with some Tibetan technique that he learned from the Heian era. Listen, if you can convince yourself of that bullshit, then sure, yeah. Yeah, Bleach can be as overpowered as it wants. And Bleach was... listen, I don't agree with Bleach being universal. I have it at large planetary, right? But if for whatever reason I were to agree with, like, the universal meta, at the same time, it's like, okay, it can still have the universal meta. I will still say... listen, I could sit here and say, yeah, sure, Bleach has its universal meta. Yeah, sure, depending on the context, I could agree with the universal meta. I could 100% agree with all that shit. That's fine. That doesn't stop me from saying that Tite Kubo is a trash writer. He has good concepts and dog shit execution. I could say that Bleach is multiversal or boundless or some dumb shit like that. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's not about it. The reason why I hate Bleach is because it has absolutely and completely dog shit writing. That's the only reason. I don't like the characters because they basically have no character. Baby mustache man argument is probably connected to what I said to backwards time travel magic. Oh, probably that, yeah. Would World War II have happened if we killed him? Would it be moral to do it? I mean, at that point, he didn't do it, so then you just killed the baby for no reason. It's an ethical question. I don't know. Chat, would you kill baby Hitler? I probably would. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I feel like I might not be around today, but I also feel like, that probably removes one of the biggest stains in human history. There's a lot of stains in human history, but I feel like that's probably one of the better known ones. Fuck would black magic affect and cut a multi-size dimension? If you accept the higher dimensional power scaling, congratulations, you have entered tier 1 scaling. Isn't Yami Dimension Slide limited to just his magic? Because I don't see other captains destroying the dream world because their magic grants them. It's probably like an interaction-based thing, too. Like, you can also argue that, like, there are certain magics in, like, Black Clover that are, like, matchup dependent. There's probably an argument for that. You'd have to ask Six, though. I'm not the Black Clover scaler here. I am thinking about scaling it, Suit. I really do consider scaling it, Suit. Especially since I can make some matchups with Dragon Ball. But, since I have somebody that paid me to do Dragon Ball. But, like, as of now, it's like, if it's any specific, like, scaling for Black Clover, like, any specific questions about, like, the context of the scaling or, like, the power system, you're better off adding Six, the mod, directly. Black Clover magic kind of limited. I don't get the tier 0 spells out of nowhere where you just suck. I see it as black magic, turning off the spell and turning them to the world, just like domains. Once broken, takes you back. That's a fair way of assuming it too. Dimension Slash is a hacks when has it been shown otherwise? Okay. You guys can have that discussion. That is definitely not a discussion for me. But what if Bitler even more powerful dictator to appear in the history voids? I mean, at that point, then you have to ask yourself, are you an anomaly in the time space? Can you go back? If the moment you kill baby Hitler, your entire world changes? You know what I mean? Like, do you disappear? Do we still get to the point where we get, like, a time machine? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a bunch of things, right? It's a bunch of stuff and things. The Kittler was right argument? I don't know about that. I don't know about him ever being right. I don't know about any of that. I just think about Punchler and Kickler from Blame the Hero series. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let me go back and read through some Drum Kingdom until something pops up. By the way, I recently saw this whole situation with, like, Sneeko, Andrew Tate, and, like, those losers from the Manosphere, from the Red Pill movement. Bruh. Bruh. That shit was fucking crazy. Who the fuck plays HH in a nightclub? Miami literally banned these dudes, bruh. That shit was crazy. I was looking at this shit all weekend, and Sneeko found out he has no friends. First of all, the only thing I really have to say towards that is that, like, bruh, you're trying to change your perception on your people's perception of you on the internet. You're trying to, like, go back to, like, really talking about men's issues and really trying to help, people in general by, like, trying to turn them into God and everything and do all these good things, and then you just randomly go on a fucking bus with a bunch of racists. You sing along to HH even if you weren't mouthing off the words. And then when you find out that all these motherfuckers that were racists and anti-Semites came out and said, bruh, oh yeah, no, like, we don't got your back. Like, no, yeah, like, it was you that did it. Even though it's basically on tape and people know that it was Myron and Fresh that put the fucking song on. You still got thrown under the bus and nobody gives a fuck. Like, yo, Sneeko is a grade S clown, bruh. Grade A, grade S clown. I'm talking about some the content questions. What's HH? There's a song that Kanye West made. There is a song that a Kanye West made that is that where he hails a certain Austrian painter. It's not that hard to find. I didn't know what the song lyrics were because they were always bleeped out in all the videos I found, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna see what the fuck the song's about. No, it's just straight up. They don't like the lyrics are literally they don't understand what I say on Twitter. N-word, H, N-word, H, N-word. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. H, N-word, H, N-word. That is literally just the whole fucking song. At least the bit that I got. I was like, yo. And like, I was crying for like 2 minutes straight. Because I was like, there's no way. There's no way there are black men that got onto that set and actually fucking sang the chorus to that song, bruh. That shit is crazy. We live in a funny... we live in a funny ass fucking timeline, bruh. Like, I don't know what to call it other than like crazy sad, but also funny. It's like, I can't believe I live in a world where like a song like that actually exists. I didn't know about that shit until this weekend. I didn't even know about the song. It's a funny simulation at least. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Whoever the fuck set up the Infinite Tsukuyomi, yo, that motherfucker has a sick, twisted fucking sense of humor, bruv. That shit was crazy. It's not like that one song by Oogway called Funny Mustache Man Is My N-Word. Oh, I've never heard of that shit. I don't even want to know what the fuck that song is, bro. Yo. Those alien devs gotta fix something. Those aliens gotta press the reset button. They gotta do something, bro. Cause shit. They gotta press the big reset button in the sky. Listen. I know I'm not a bad person. I would hope to say that I feel like our community isn't filled with bad people. I feel like humanity, for the most part, isn't filled with bad people, but it's like, I don't know, man. Why even remotely, like, joke about that shit? And then I saw, like, a reply that was about, like, that was basically, like, talking about, like, the whole, like, Sneeko situation, how, like, he really just doesn't have any friends, and these motherfuckers just all can just throw you under the bus because he was never one of them or whatever. One of them was, like, Nick Fuentes. By the way, is he fucking Mexican? I thought somebody told me that Nick Fuentes was Mexican or some shit. I don't know. It was like, he looks very white to me. I guess he's white passing. I don't know. It was like, this dude apparently was going on about the whole, like, Myron, dressing up as I think it's like an Orthodox Jewish man and, like, making fun of it and whatever. And I'm like, even Nick Fuentes is saying that, like, yo, there's, like, a time and a place for that, but when, like, you just don't, like, I'm like, bro, the fact that you have one of these racist motherfuckers telling you, like, yo, you should also kind of stop that shit. Like, it's not their sense of humor. It's like, yo, somebody is going out of whack. I don't know, man. All for the sake of just being, and it's all for the sake of just being edgy, dude. It's all for the sake of just being edgy, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, I guess this is what gets clicks, but like, as someone that like streams and stuff like that, I kind of see it and I'm like, you know what? This is why people hate streamers. This is why people think that like this shit is all trash, because you have certain motherfuckers that like just go out of the way to say the most out of pocket shit, and like you, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. His last name is Fuentes. That was his defense for an officer who asked him if he was racist. That's crazy. Dress Rosa's got the go to tournament. Sorry about bringing this up, by the way. When you have money, you lose stats in care. You lose stats in care stat. Or you lose care points in your you lose points in your care stats. That's what you meant. Yeah. Because I've not seen any attacks that can scale the Universal, with the strongest and biggest promised one being Promised Neverland, and that was Continental. What the fuck did I write? You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Point of HH was to prove that those people like to capitalize on our pain, but if we do it to them, it's an issue. In my opinion, Yi was right on that at least. See, that perspective I completely understand. That perspective I completely understand. I guess that like there is a message that he was trying to push. It's just, you know, probably the most on the nose thing you could have probably have done it on. I don't agree with like ever making a song about that guy, that funny mustached man, but it's like I get where he was coming from, and I understand what he means by that, dude. And I understand like what you mean by it. It's like, because I think they brought it up in one of the videos that I saw, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. My sister just tested talking about some just finished Dress Rosa, the best arc. I disown her when don't disown her. But Dress Rosa is not is not the best arc, but it's also not that bad of an arc. It just has bad pacing for real. Another reason Madara is a bum. What is reality, man? Where is the good one? I guess. The Magic Matrix reality sucks. I want a refund, Madara. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's a goated arc. I think it's a good arc. I think it's honestly a good arc, and it's a first introduction to Gear 4th. It also gives you an idea of like what Law's past is, so I think it's fine. You know what I mean? Let's see. Whole Cake is Island genuinely the best arc in One Piece? You know, I think that Whole Cake is pretty good. I do think that Whole Cake is a pretty damn good arc. I'd be lying if I said I didn't agree with that. It is a damn good arc. I don't know if it's the best in my opinion. I don't know if it's the best. Alright. Fonth and converted into power. Yami directly destroys Glamour World. What do you mean you've never seen a universal attack? I'll give you more too. Zenon cuts space. Zenon has an attack that is a hyperspace. Lucifero absorbed the Quill. The Clyfoth. Yeah, I agree with you. It was extreme, but it did prove that he was right. They let the K-Dot call Drake a PDF, and ye can't say HH. Isn't both... Who's the K-Dot? Who's K-Dot? Isn't both technically hate spreading? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there are ways of, like, trying to call this stuff out without having to, like, you know... Also kind of destroy your own image. Oh, K-Dot. Oh! Yeah. Best setting, amazing villains, amazing writing, Nami screen time, Nami upscales, future sight, cool as fuck. Did I mention Nami upscales? Yeah, Nami upscale is always good. Marine so cringe that the Yonkos didn't even... Cress? Those are very different. The best is Egghead for me, and Marineford. But, too much screen fights, off-screen fights. You know, I'm a sucker for Doflamingo. Yeah, no, you are. I can definitely see it. I can also see you pulling off a Doflamingo, like, full-on Doflamingo cosplay. I think that'd be actually really cool. Amazon Lily's the best. Boa Pierce, that is all. You are also allowed to have that take. Amazon Lily was definitely an arc, and it was full with women, you know? You might get called a gooner, sure, but it was definitely, you could definitely say. You have one on your Instagram? Nice. Marineford showed that Luffy, as much as he's the MC, wasn't him. Yeah, but that's also what I like about it. There should be an arc where, like, the character, where, like, the main protagonist does go through a series of downfalls where it's like, even through, like, their success, they still show their limitations. It's a good thing to show that your character is still limited within the grander scale of a series. Oda's done it a couple times. Kishimoto actually did a good bit of that with, like, Naruto, especially in the starting arcs of, like, Shippuden. I feel like it just was too many L's back to back for Naruto, where with Luffy it was like, sure, he went through a lot of L's as well, arguably more, but it was also like L's that were between massive W's. You know what I mean? What do you mean? Mihawk glazed the hell out of Luffy during the war. Alabasta Saga is the best stretch of arcs in anime. Not gonna lie. You think so? I don't agree with it, man. I don't agree with it. Luffy goes through heavy L's and gets better for it. Yeah. You can also see that. Through Wano. Luffy goes through a massive L, showing him that he's still not ready to fight a Yonko, even in Wano. Like, all the training that he could do doesn't matter. It's basically either get stronger mid-fight, or you kind of just get power cliffed every single time. You only get stronger through fighting. The Twitter is so annoying those days. The JJK fan, awful takes, Unk. Really? What during what time period? Yeah, I don't agree that he lost to Kizaru. I disagree with all those takes. I would never agree to Luffy losing his I would never agree with Luffy actually losing to Kizaru at any point. I think he won though. Oh, by the way, the Raws proved the bleach scaling was heavily mistranslated. Rukia never said universe, nor did Kisuke. Did you actually, like, find the... What did they say then? What does it translate to? You could consider the Wano saga being Punk Hazard Wano, which would be better. You could. You definitely could. Okay. Bro, JJK fans trying to force Maki as better written female than any female in One Piece. I mean, I think it's a fine enough take to have. I mean, it's not the craziest thing, and if they do, I mean, it's fine. People can believe that a character is better than another. People are more than well allowed to believe that one character is better than another. You know what I mean? And if you think that, and like, listen, if they didn't read One Piece, I mean, you can always just take it as, okay, they didn't read it. There's no point in arguing with them because they probably just didn't read One Piece. And if you feel like they did read they did read One Piece and they also read JJK and they still think that Maki, I mean, it's fine, man. It's an opinion. I don't necessarily think you think that she's a badly written character. I don't agree with that. I certainly don't agree with that. See, he thinks she's a badly written character. Some people think she's a better written character than characters in One Piece. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that kind of stuff. I've joined a stream from one another scaler and he made an amazing point as to why the Akatsuki is stronger than old Whitebeard and Marinefern, and I'm convinced now. What's the video? What's the other streamer? I'd be down to at least listen to what they're saying. I could stream their stream. Cause that's when the Straw Hats teamed up with Law. True. It says world will world, even asking the fake guy talked about the realms, never called the universe but world. But world could also be used for Sekai, could also be used for universe. So it depends. Eon, are you reading Kagurabachi? If so, how well do you think the Seichi Samara does against the Jinchuriki? I'm gonna be so honest with you. I haven't read like the last 15 chapters of it. I just look at the pictures. I kind of got tired of reading it for a bit, and I just kind of went. Click, 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 click. I didn't go back. When will you ever finish Expedition 33? Whenever I have the energy to go get all of the music discs and finish all of the Nevron quests, that's when I'll do. That's when I'll do Expedition 33. When I feel like going through that bullshit. Does Luffy have lightning speed, movement speed in Skypiea? Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember him dodging lightning. He gets hit by lightning quite often. Specifically, he dodges one of Enel's attacks, or he keeps up with him as he's traveling through like the side of the arc at Maxim. You could definitely make an argument for Luffy at least having combat and reaction time, even if you don't believe like raw movement speed. Kagurabachi is mid. Kagurabachi is buns. You guys are hateful. For Yami, I was wrong about black magic, but for Xenon, that's his ability, just like the old guy Naruto. Okay. Chill Stream, Whitebeard, Loki. Okay. But from Polar Stone, I think I've heard of them. You have it in timeline. Let me see. You said it was fuck! God damn, this shit's annoying. Stop going away. Damn. Alright. There we go. Alright, now we're good. What was the name? What was the name? Chill Stream. I'm just gonna look up Polar Stone. Let me look up Polar Stone. Oh, they're not streaming right now. Oh, that was from 2 days ago. Oh, okay. Talking JJK, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and more. Have I seen their content? Always bet on power creep. Flame Emperor. Sabo sucks right now, and that's okay. Yo, 6 about to be in shambles. Damn. I'm actually down to check this out real quick. I'm gonna check this out before I head out. I want to check out at least one video. They don't understand the things I say in Twitter. Like this, like, I'm not gonna lie. When I was listening to it, I was like, that's actually not like a bad like beat to it. But I'm like, I saw one of the comment sections, and one of the comments was like, how can a song with such a heavenly beat have such a fucked up lyrics? I'm like, yo, yo, that line is so crazy. They don't understand what I say on Twitter. That shit's so crazy, man. Fuck, that song is so disgusting, bro. What the fuck? I hate that song, man. I've already seen that video. It's Garabaged. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Dude, that song is so fucked though. Fuck. Anyway, you said wait. You said he has garbage points. Come on now, that's not nice. That's not nice, Six. I don't agree with that. Come on now. Case in point, with great songs with fucked up lyrics, pumped up kicks. What are the fucked up lyrics and pumped up kicks? I don't think I've ever heard that song. Okay. I sound robotic. Oh wait, 1 second. How do I sound now? I took off the you sound like a robot. Give me 1 second. Do I sound good now? Hey, what's up? The planetary agenda is strong on ChatGPT. When I asked Naruto vs. Luffy, it straightened it out. It called the bullshit. And it called the bullshit now. Luffy is 30 times faster than light. 30,000 times faster? Cool. Robo Eon, am I still sounding better? I don't sound better? Fuck. Eon, what about the femboy? What femboy? What femboy are we talking about?
Let's close our eyes. Close our eyes.
Wait, no, not that.
Think about Magic Johnson. You can see the smile. Think about Mike.
Still robot?
You can see. You can see the imagery. Pre-game.
How do I sound now?
You can close your eyes.
How do I sound now? Do I sound better? Let me see. X. What are the X? What are the X? What are the Beautiful voices back? Good but low? Okay. I'm gonna erase it then. Beautiful voices back? Okay. There we go. No, not that, not this. Okay. We're back.
And there's images with stars.
Queen putting work against Sabo. It's a catchy song about school pew-pews. No, no way. No way. Nobody's... Wait, time out. No way somebody wrote that fucking song. No way somebody wrote a song about school pew-pews. That's crazy. Yeah, it feeds all 5 elders. How you doing, Julian? It's been a minute. How you doing, man? I'm doing well. You sound like you're talking through a paper towel cylinder. Maybe. It might be because I raised up the volume as well.
The time of recording this video is 11:70. And 2, I want to say I've gone on record that I believe Sabo is going to get stronger in the story, not once, not twice, but in 3 of my videos. So I don't want to hear nothing from no great value donut glazers. As someone who has fallen deep into the abyss that is Agenda Piece, I have seen all sorts of insane takes being spewed out every week.
Whoa,
but the one agenda that frustrates me the most is the Sabo fandom. Y'all are really the dude that no one invited. Always inserting yourselves into discussions
decently
you don't
popular
belong.
song,
So many
no
people put Luffy's
fucking
spare
way,
tire,
dude.
I mean brother, not just in their top 30s, but above characters that at this point in the series would beat the brakes off this man without question.
Coach, you can't. Whose man is this? You put him on the team. Bro, don't.
Always talk about, well, if Sabo does this, or if Sabo comes back and shows off this ability. I need y'all to understand that my hate for the Sabo agenda runs deep. So deep.
You will
I'm
see what I
dropping
mean.
this
I got
video
you.
On my birthday. There's levels to this. Like, I get it. You want to rep your
You
favorite
loved
character.
that song when you couldn't understand English? I mean, fair enough, but god damn. Sorry if I had more candy, guys.
That's just like anyone in this fandom. Completely fine with that. But y'all are the most impatient people ever. He's destined to pop off later in the story. Stop trying to use that shit to gas him up right now. Y'all are so desperate trying to make him look good because his feats are garbage right now and you all know it.
This nigga's legendary? Based on what? What has he done? How long has he been in the game?
Well, I know he got
Who the
into it.
fuck knows who Scruncho is outside of the local ghetto community?
No way. All the other kids with the pump up kicks better run faster than my bullet. That's the chorus. That's insane. What the fuck is going with some of these fucking artists? Yo! Okay, listen. I can understand at least like what the theory behind why Kanye West wrote HH was, right? Okay, sure. He's trying to show that there's an innate hypocrisy He's trying to show that there's like innate hypocrisy in the powers that be, right? Sure, fine. What is the benefit of writing a song about school pew-pews? How the fuck? What's like the justification for that? Is it to like make let me make people understand what this is really about? Like, no, what the fuck? The points in this video are easily dismantled. Not gonna lie. I would love Alex Jones as... That's what I'm saying! Like, what the fuck? That's some Alex Jones type shit. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kinda... And then he says the thing. Joe, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I got pile drived as a kid. I remember listening to Alex Jones when I first found out about him after like the whole like I'm kind of R-word and shit. I remember listening to like so many of his videos and so many not like his actual podcasting, but having him like seeing him pop up on other people's podcasts, because he would say some like crazy shit like there's like these interdimensional wizards with like a crystal ball and they believe like through the powers that be, by infusing it with like colors or some shit, they create an idea that like zaps these information into our minds, and then it turns, and they put like these special colors into like their crystal balls that then flow into like the waters so that it turns the frogs gay or some shit. Bro, I remember first seeing some shit like that on like YouTube. I was in fucking tears. I was actually in fucking tears, man. I remember playing Call of Duty with my boys, and they were like, "Yo, bro, you're making us lose games. Stop fucking laughing." That shit was too funny. At Nightingale 1, how strong end of series Luffy will be is only like a minute long. Alright, I can check that out. Do you think the Five Elders are brainwashed like Harold due to their contract with Imu? No, I think they gave up their souls. I think those motherfuckers either gave up their souls or or they were masterminding this shit a hot minute ago. Greedy ass, share the candy. You haven't even offered any even once. You know what? As a kid, I used to hand out my candy to everybody, and then I would end up having none for myself. I've learned as an adult, sharing is only caring if you've got enough for yourself. And it's a very small bag. It was an old ass song from like the early 2000s from an indie band. Never was supposed to be popular or mainstream. That's still crazy. It's still, why the fuck would you name that? Still, why the fuck would you do that? I just gave you the feeds. He has shit against Emu. Emu is top 1 by far. Yo, Six is very passionate about this, I see. He's really debunking all of these claims, and I appreciate him for it. Sabo's the king. That is really a popular song. Oh, you didn't know about the song? It was a parody of the Columbine School Pew Pew. I don't listen to music like that. I listen to like whatever's popular out, or like if I find some random anime song I like. You guys would be surprised with my... Actually, you guys would... I think like mostly the artists that I've got now are like a bit of Macklemore and maybe like a little bit of Post Malone. I think like the most notable rappers. Maybe like a little Drake here and there, but like mostly with like God's Planet. I haven't even listened to God's Planet in years. Genuinely a bop for a German kid who didn't know English. All right, I can see why. Okay. Also, Polar doesn't know what Mick Panning is. Mike Panning.
Of comedy.
Sabo fans got selective reading syndrome because they keep trying to gas that fight with Fujitora. I elaborated
so many songs I loved as a child without understanding what they said. Fair enough. It came out, I believe, in 2011. That's not like 2000s. That's like 2011. Jesus Christ. My previous comment, please. It's also a podcast. Was 12:55, and I still have it, and I used it to listen to it religiously. That thing he was No, I don't know about him being right. I definitely don't know about him being right, but sure. For the record, you know what? I'll leave it as it is. And that's the thing. It's very upbeat and catchy, is it? I'll check it out afterwards. What'd you say? Send it to me on send me just the title of it. I'll check it out and see what it's at after stream. I don't want to post something like that. I don't like, I think those things on stream are kind of weird. That is the thing. It's a really mainstream song. Is it really mainstream? Huh. Yo, I don't even know what's like mainstream now in terms of like music. Like, what's the song everybody's listening to right now? Like, I remember like for a while, especially it's like very very known song. I don't know about this shit, dude. I'm telling you, when I don't listen to music, I really do mean it. Like, I remember I got into The Weeknd's Can't Can't Feel My Face. I remember I listened to that song like a year after it came out because I was like, yo, this shit is fire. Who the fuck posted this? Oh, it's The Weeknd. You haven't heard of it? I was like, maybe every now and then it would like pop up and shit. I'm like at a party or something, you know. I just don't listen to music. I don't know what to tell you. It was mainstream back then. Okay, it was. Okay. Don't mean it as an offense, just as like that. Okay. He objectively did not. He almost died. Alright, let's keep going.
Topic in my video breaking down Fujitori's character, but they swear on everything that shit is impressive when Fujitora is putting on an Oscar level performance in acting. Sabo deadass.
I don't think I've ever listened to a single J. Cole song, if I had to be honest. I think I've actually told you this before. I don't think I've never listened to J. Cole before. Never. I don't think I've ever listened to like a full one of his songs. I always found his I think like the times that I tried to like listen to him, I found his music to be kind of boring. I don't know. I like music that's more. I like more rhythm and like music than I do lyrics. I don't really care what the lyrics are.
Picks up on it mid-fight.
Isn't J. Cole more of a lyrical rapper?
Fujitora is plotting and considers himself lucky when Fujitora lets him in on his plan and lets him go. But guys, I'm so sure that the one Navy admiral in the story, notorious for sabotaging the world government throughout the entire arc of Dressrosa, was using his max effort here.
You hear what you're saying out loud, brother? I hear what I'm saying out loud.
And don't get me started on how they be glazing Sabo defeating Burgess. Look, guys, Sabo beat a commander.
Big X the Plug. Six told me about him too. Yeah, Six also really likes Big X the Plug. That's such a funny ass name, like Big X the Plug.
Did you see it? That means Sabo's on the same level as.
No! Fuck!
Yeah, that shit was cool 11 fucking years ago, but brother, we are in 2026. I have seen Marco fight a 1v2 against King and Queen. I have seen Zoro cut open Kaido. I've seen Law and Kid bring down Big Mom. I've seen this man Luffy split the sky with the world's strongest creature, but niggas want to remind me that Sabo beat Burgess. Fruitless Burgess.
If Cole dissing again, I'm gonna turn that shit off. Rap about salads and tulips. No more beef for you. Who's the Kendrick Lamar, right? That was the guy that Kendrick Lamar was the guy that like made the A minor song, right? I remember having to explain that shit to my mom as she was watching like the Super Bowl, and me just literally actually I think she was watching the Super Bowl. She was just watching like the commercials or whatever, like the intermission. And I walked up to her room and I was like explaining to her the whole fucking history of it before we went through like the actual like rap. I don't listen to rap. Not Like Us is the best rap song ever. Yeah, Not Like Us is pretty fucking funny. Bleach stands a better chance against One Piece than Naruto. Probably. I would actually argue it does. But, nah, yes and no. Already provided feats. Do you enjoy rock music? Not hardcore? Something like Bury the Light, the Virgil theme from Devil May Cry? Are you talking about the one where like, the one that like the Alpha and the Omega, something like that. The Omega and the Alpha, something. I don't know, man. I don't listen to rock music like that. I really don't. Again, when it comes to me listening to music, it's show me the song. Do I like the beat? Is it catchy? Can I like bang my head to it? If I do, it's on my phone. If not, I've either probably don't want to listen to it anymore. I'd probably never listen to it at all. Not Like Us is the best diss song, but if it was Drake. But if I was Drake, I would be in jail like Lil Durk over this beat. You wouldn't let somebody do that shit to you, bro? In terms of aura, anime characters need to step up their game if they want to compete with Dante and Virgil. Maybe. We'll see how... let's put up that energy on the Devil May Cry anime. Let's see what happens with that. Because I've seen that, like... I've heard good things and bad things about it.
It's not a Marco, not a King, not even a Katakuri. Fruitless Burgess.
No.
So, okay. To be fair. Like, Sabo taking out Burgess, it's not a bad feat. It is not a bad feat. It is just not fighting a Yonko commander. You know what I mean? You didn't hear any good thing about it? Wait, what did I hear a good thing about? I probably did. I heard people say it wasn't bad. The only thing I listened to is mommy ASMR. Alright. Look, what's mommy ASMR? Oh, good boy. Oh, coochie coochie coo. Some shit like that. Like, is that fucking mommy ASMR? What the fuck is mommy ASMR? Eon. Eon, do you think anyone in JJK is still Lightspeed or FTL? I do. I still do. Sabo running from a stronger opponent is not a feat. That thing Adi Shankar tried to create is an absolute abomination to DMC verse. Really? You guys hate it that much? Fair enough. If you hate it that much. Ew. What do you want? Hey, listen, I'm just trying to ask him what the fuck mommy ASMR is. Alright? Damn. Nothing crazy.
Shut the fuck up! All right to take. Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up!
And you want to know what's so funny about Sabo versus Burgess? It's the fact that Burgess got one of the most devious get-backs I have ever seen in the entire story. A lot of people forget that after Dressrosa was over, this man Burgess stowed away on Sabo's ship and they made it all the way back to the Revolutionary's secret base, Baltigo. And Burgess goes and radios in to Blackbeard to pull up. Nigga, they sunk the whole fucking island because Sabo couldn't have been bothered to make sure his ship was secured. You wanna know how bad this fuck up is? Just to remind y'all that Emu himself did not know the location of the revolutionaries. They have been hunting this nigga dragon for decades. Losing Baltigo was a major loss to the revolutionaries, but no one ever talks about it. Not me though, because I'm an elite hater. Remember that time in Fishman Island when Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji sends Caribou in the literal giant palace? Yeah, safe to say Sabo's observation hockey is abysmal dog shit, or his brain just took an off day. But we're not done yet, because we still have to talk about the Reverie, because oh my god, this entire event is frying me, man. Like, I remember when 1054 dropped and Sabo got called the Flame Emperor. Niggas were bouncing on his dick, talking about some Sabo and a few good men were able to get the drop on 2 admirals. I remember how y'all were just deep throwing that Flame Emperor title, just for Oda to pull the rug out from under you, and everything was just a convenient lie for them to write off of. We went from Sabo and a few good men versus 2 admirals to a few good men versus 2 suppressed admirals, and ended things off with Fujitora and a few good men freeing slaves and fighting Green Bull. Dog, how the fuck is a Navy admiral a better revolutionary than you? This is the second time Fujitora gave you the clutch assist. Dragon, please, for the love of God, sign this man to the team right now, because your second in command needed an old man who pulled up to the throne room in a wheelchair to be his...
Damn, this guy is very passionate. What are your thoughts on the fact that people still argue Gojo over Sukuna to this day? I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think that it's necessarily truthful to say that Gojo is, like, higher than Sukuna, just because Gojo also said that he didn't see Sukuna go all out. So, there's an argument to be made that, like, yeah, maybe Sukuna needed Mahoraga, but Gojo still wouldn't have won that. I mean, he didn't win it. Like, I just don't know what else to say. Sukuna is still consistently depicted to be the strongest. And as for the lightspeed scaling, the reason why I continue to believe in the lightspeed scaling is because even with his lightspeed stuff, Dabura, he's not really debunking anything, because Gojo and Sukuna took out Mahoraga faster and in a lower amount of chapters. Like, what's he really done? Like, yeah, he can wipe out most of Mahoraga, but all that proves is that his lightspeed kick is weaker than literally an Infinite Void. Like, Infinite Void is, like, way more powerful than his lightspeed kick if that was the case. My listening list to music's either some Mozart ass shit or death metal. There's no in between, really. I could never get into death metal, dude. I could really never get into death metal. It's always been I don't know, it's too heavy for me, man. I don't like screaming. I don't know. The screaming just doesn't do it for me. I can see the appeal in it, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it definitely can help a person, like, hype themselves up to. Lady is one of the top 5 most memorable female characters because of who she is. She took that persona and completely twisted into a vulgar fetish of his imagination. Jesus fucking Christ. Listen, if I had to name 5 female characters, I would probably be honest with you and say that Lady is not in my top 5. Honestly, even in my top 3, but in my top 10, probably. But, yeah, sure. That's how bad it is. All right, Sukuna is more powerful overall, but Gojo had better hacks. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair take. I could see that. Sukuna's especially from a complex standpoint, aura. I could definitely see that aura, especially from a complexity standpoint, because Gojo had a more complex technique than Sukuna. Sukuna was just better at binding vows, in my opinion. Understandable, and I would like to clarify that it is technical death metal. Both me and Thine love it. That's lovely. That's lovely. Nice to know that you guys also have a mutual share in music. Appreciation for the genre. Lady from DMC3 is one of the best female characters. I'm telling you. I know of her. I've seen the gameplay, the cutscenes. She's fine. I think of Trish more when I think about Devil May Cry than I do Lady, but yeah. Actually, no, I think more about the cute black chick from Devil May Cry 5. I always forget her name. She's awesome. I love her, and I'm not really into chicks with like tattoos, especially like full full sleeves and stuff like that. But she could get it. She could definitely get it. Naoya and Dabura depiction is actually correct. So glorious. Games are only canon. Okay. Do you consider yourself more of a streamer than a YouTuber nowadays? Mostly streaming just because, yeah. I'm gonna change the. By the way, I gotta change the title of this stream. I'm gonna change the title of the stream later though, because like this was not a me working on a video thing. I guess I got on too late, and I guess I just didn't focus in on working in. I'm actually gonna stop after this. Do you agree that Gunko has a sure hit since Loki couldn't dodge her arrows and he dodged Gear 4 previously? I think it's a sure hit. I think if something her arrows aim at something, she can essentially like it will be. She basically stated it will land. It will always land. He's getting obliterated by Deborah. He dodges an EM wave and with a fucked up body, I can believe he can. Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, Dissemp. I don't think Devil May Cry 3 is all that good. I don't think Devil May Cry 3 is all that good. I played it. Never could finish it. I only finished 5 and DMC Devil May Cry, the reboot. I've never beaten any other Devil May Cry game. The first one had a giant spider boss. I was not playing through that shit, which ironically I could go back and play now. I did beat the giant spider bosses in Black Myth Wukong, which were worse. Yeah. I don't think Devil May Cry 3... I mean, Devil May Cry 3 was just not that good to me. It was kind of boring. It's also very janky. Yeah. I liked 5 for the combat. I liked DMC for the combat. I liked 4 for the weapons. I did not care for 3. How strong do you think Modulo Yuji is? I have no clue. I only have one thing to go off of, and it is piercing blood. Shotgun. That's it. I don't think anything bad of DMC3. I just don't care for it, and it's not even my top 3 favorite. Could blitz Sukuna or Gojo, plus the fact that Dabura hits nukes at people? Well, A, he doesn't travel at light speed all the time. B, Sukuna's already dodged an EM wave attack, and Dabura said he went at almost light speed, so basically relative to one another. I mean, who's catching him off guard? Who's catching them off guard? You'd also have to prove he did not dodge the EM wave, not multiple. But he did dodge the EM wave, and he did dodge, objectively he did dodge that EM wave. And if we're talking about multiple of them, I mean, look at the context between Suna and what Sukuna's body was in. I find it funny you have a picture of him as your profile picture, yet, I mean, it's fair. You can like have a profile picture, you still might not think he's that strong. I think that's fine. Sukuna had a fucked up body, and Gojo states that a larger body also gets more off of cursed reinforcement and augmentation. So yes, I actually can believe that Sukuna can dodge multiple attacks back to back with his full, healthy body. Yes, but the attack itself was light speed, wasn't it? And he dodged it. Therefore, he has light speed, movement speed, and short bursts. Don't think Dabura could blitz Sukuna. Don't you think Dabura and Sukuna could blitz, plus the fact that Dabura hits nukes at people? You already wrote that. I mean, why would I think that he can blitz them? Sukuna could dodge an EM wave at point-blank range. He can dodge a guy that's traveling slightly faster from a distance. And even then, Sukuna survived. Sukuna, let me show you something. Let me just show you something. New Blue Lock chapter. All right, that's the last thing I want to do here before I leave. Let me show you something. All right. What is it, like 38? No. It's like 35. I'm kind of over this video. I really don't care. Alright. Gojo shot this. Gojo made this. Gojo blasted this. It one-shotted Maharaga. Sukuna survived. He went at light speed, hit Maharaga once. Maharaga still survived with the wheel still intact. Yeah, I think Sukuna can tank it. No problem. Hey, Lapis, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Can we get some double use for Lapis? To be fair, Kashima and Dabura have been stated to surpass the limits of humanity, so you're saying their relative is not out of pocket. No! Kashimo is stated to have surpassed the limits of humanity. Dabura, I don't think he has that statement. Dodging one lightspeed attack does not mean you can dodge multiple lightspeed attacks thrown at you. Yeah, but if you have a healthier body that A is in a better condition than, let's see. Not this, sorry. If his body is in a better condition than this, A. If it's in a better condition than this, A. If it's in a larger body than this, B. If cursed energy makes you faster and stronger depending on your body's height, muscle mass, and weight, as Gojo implied with Miguel, where Miguel would have a faster sprint, Gojo would still win the marathon. Yeah, I would say, yeah. I don't need a feat, I can just believe it. How about that? I can just believe it. How about that? I have every bit of evidence I need to simply have to believe it. I don't need a feat to believe it. How about that? What do you do then? Huh? What do you do then? I'm not telling you have to believe it. I'm not telling you have to agree with me. What if I just believe that Sukuna can dodge multiple lightspeed attacks because in a weakened body, he could dodge, in a weakened body with half of his face, he can dodge a lightspeed attack. What if I do? What then? Anyway. I think it's safest to think that Lightspeed's at the cap of them. I don't give a shit about the light. I don't care about it being safe or not. I don't have to believe that Sukuna caps out at Lightspeed. And if he is, I can still just say he is Lightspeed. He dodges an EM way. What do you want me to tell you? If he's at full body, I believe that in short bursts, he can. I mean, in short bursts, I think that, yeah, he can travel at those speeds in short bursts. Sounds like Principal Perry. Believe it. Yeah. Isn't Maharaga under a binding vow that makes him stronger than female Tuts did? No. Why is he no? What? Can you give me the chapter where it's implied he's under a binding vow? Because I could bring up those chapters. I could bring up the chapters. No issue. There is no statement anywhere here that even remotely implies Sukuna's amping up Maharaga. The only binding vow he made, was that he could use he could basically shoulder the burden of adaptation. Isn't Maharaga under a binding vow? Nope. Sukuna is so slow that he needed lightning curse tool. No, he can drop a lightning curse tool on you. A lightning curse tool that he can also keep up with physically. In a healthier body as well. Oh, that's been from earlier. Black Clover is 9D, by the way. Eon 1v1 me in Fortnite. Thank you for the 14 months, 6. Can we get some W's for 6? Please? Let's see. Yes, you are. No limits house. You got a single speed.
Robo Eon returns. Why do I have an echo? I don't fucking know, dude. Might be some fuck shit with my mic today. It's fine. Guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm kind of tired, and I really need to eat something. I haven't had anything to eat since breakfast. Yeah, Robo Eon. I think there was a statement about Dobro surpassing the limits of mankind in the last page of the last chapter, but I wasn't... He said he was going to push his body strengthened to their limits. Beyond the limits of mankind, Daburo rips across the battlefield. Beyond the limits of mankind. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, you were right. Sorry about that, Aura. Sorry about that, Aura. You were right. He did voodoo to his mic. I didn't do voodoo to my mic. It probably happens when I lean back. Or the echo is probably coming from my room as well. It's probably less echo if I just talk closer. Do you think Takaba's curse technique is top one in the verse if fully realized? Probably not, because it specifically has to do with... Probably not, because it specifically has to do with comedy. So I don't know if he can necessarily like, win every fight like that. You might be able to argue that with enough power through a... You might be able to argue that if Sukuna were to rip open, let's say, like a boundless domain expansion, it might be able to like just tear right through it. It does like shut off techniques so that you don't do damage, but you might be able to argue like maybe a domain expansion or something. I don't know. I'd have to like look back at that. I don't remember if actually he turned off Geto's, or I guess I should say Kinjaku's, what the fuck's it called? Oh, fuck. I forgot. Kinjaku's domain. My bad. Beyond the limitation of mankind is extremely vague testament. It's not extremely vague. I mean, beyond the limitations of mankind. Beyond the limits of mankind, I mean, Sukuna beat a guy who was also beyond the limits of mankind. Here. The answer, it's literally just stated right here. Kashimo's body manifests these phenomena and has passed beyond the human realm. There is a separate translation that says Kashimo's body has now surpassed human limits. There's a separate translation for it. JJK, TCB. Yeah. Kashimo's body has now surpassed the limits of mankind. It's not even about it being vague or not. It doesn't matter. Again, my issue with the text, it's because of the effects of sublight speed on the environment. I mean, that's fine. I never said Sukuna attacks people at light speed with his punches. All I said was he is able to react to and move his body out of the way from a light speed attack. That's short burst movement speed. I don't know what to tell you. It's not like he's building up the speed for it. He's simply just jumping out of the way. Anyway. So again, like, where's the contradiction? If he's gone beyond the limits of mankind, he's only entering Kashimo tier. And you know who basically blitzed Kashimo? Sukuna. What do you want me to tell you? I still see no reason to not believe in it. Wait, which attack against Sukuna was light speed? I got you. Let me pull it back up again. 336. Fuck. Back. Prius. This attack right here. This attack right here. Hand in front of face. EM wave attack. Dodged out of the way. Like, it's still all consistent within the series. Yuji versus Daburo will CL at any or all matches misconceptions. Maybe my speculations couldn't find the chapter. I mean, what's the better feat than Kashimo? Who has Dabura fought? Who has Dabura fought that you can directly compare to Kashimo? Explain that to me real quick. Do me that kindness first. Ah, fuck off.
ass, fuck ass Mike. Alright. Sukuna strikes Kashimo down with lightning, and as Kashimo backs away, he's already behind him. He literally blitzes Kashimo right here. Sukuna literally blitzes him right here. Bro gets tagged by sound waves before and at minimum Mach 1 piercing blood later. Ah, they're outliers now. Yes, quite. Yeah, just blitzes Kashimo. Isn't that an off guard though, Eon? Is it off guard? Because Kashimo's eyesight also improved. He has X-ray vision and he was keeping eyes on Sukuna the entire time. He was still facing in his direction. How is that an off guard? How is that an off guard? He's never once kept his eyes off of Sukuna until Sukuna literally just passed behind him. Do you have the stream open up on another tab? Do I? Do I now? No, I don't. That's so weird. Am I still fuck? You know what? Just deal with it. You guys just deal with it. I'm not staying up on stream for much longer. You guys just deal with it. I'm sorry. I don't feel like going through that right now. I don't know what the reason is. I cannot explain it. I do the same thing I always did. I unplug my mic. If it's not working, I don't know what to tell you. What if I mute desk audio? I don't know. Does that change it? like I don't know what to tell you. Do you hear me now? No? I don't know. Yeah, deal with it. Damn it, I opened it up. Yuka's Maharaga was amped by a death binding vow? I mean, prove it then. Where's the death bind? Where's the speculation? Where's the what piece of evidence implies it's on a death binding vow? I'm fine if you believe it. Again, anyone here can believe whatever they want to believe. It's just why should I believe that she's going through a death binding vow? What piece of evidence makes me believe that? Sure. Installation. Yeah. All that crap. Well, I guess I don't have to do that 3 weeks from now. I'm a clanker? Yeah, unfortunate state of affairs. This is AI Eon. No, do not launch Audacity. Yeah. Dabra issue is he's having too much fun and not trying to end Maharaga. Muting your desktop audio fixed it? Did it now. Interesting. Probably just that. Probably something like that. Piercing blood has only one statement, which is surpass the speed of sound. I don't know how Sukuna dodging it makes it impressive. Or how him getting hit by it. Like, if he got hit by it, okay, so what? He literally blocks it casually as well. Sukuna literally blocks that shit casually as well. Kashimo's statement puts me at ease for now. Still want more. Listen, all I'm saying is I currently have no... Since I unmuted. Oh. Okay. Listen, all I'm saying is I don't have a personal reason to believe that Dabura is any stronger than Sukuna or the others if he, at this current point in time, hasn't... If he, weak with lesser fingers, took out Maharaga. Also, literally perception blitzes piercing blood. Literally here, one frame, not there, the next frame already blitzed him. Oh yeah, why don't the other characters combine their technique and reverse technique to make stuff purple like wasted potential? He does perception blitz piercing blood actually, yeah. Is a CE enhanced. That scales doesn't work since it's not just blood, it's also cursed energy. He also chose... Is that... Argument invalid? Nah. My only agenda is consistency. I don't care about anything else. Yeah, same. I have no problem with Sukuna being stronger than Dabura. If you have no problem with Sukuna being stronger than Dabura, then you should have no problem with Sukuna being Lightspeed. See? Boom! Alright, I'm leaving it there. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care of yourselves, drink some water, do your thing, finish off your arguments. Yeah, all that crap.